Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wild&Wingless. Tonight I got with myself the V89 driver. I got Christopher Temby. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Nah, thanks very much for joining me. We first started talking when he was over, well, about doing the show when he was over in the States. So he was hanging out
Yep.
with that legendary Australian driver, Troy Hudson, uh, Todd Hobson. Um, hey, we've had a bit of chat this year at Lismore and stuff, but just
Yep.
for other people out there who don't know who Chris Temby is, or Kicker as your nickname is, give us a
Yep.
bit of a background story on how you started off in racing and how you became race wingless.
Okay. So my old man Peter Temby, he got his start racing he raced modified production back in the day. The Monktons gave him his start. Anyone who listens to this that knows what modified production is, especially in Victoria, probably knows who the Monktons are. They gave him his start. Then he went to a class called Free Leaders, and by that time I was probably about 7. Everyone's probably seen Temby haulage on the side of my race car as well, and that's my old man and just one truck. But yeah, he come home one day just before my 8th birthday with a Amiga TP13 go kart on the back. We chucked some speedway car tyres on it and head to Avalon, Nora, Druin, one of the tracks. And yeah, I've been racing ever since. So just before my 8th birthday, I think, yeah, it was one or Druin or whatever, one of the local tracks. Got my start there. Then Dad ended up racing wingless, so um, Troy Hudson's sister's car. Um, that was my old man's car.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So I think we sold it to them, or we sold it to the Hobsons in maybe 2012, 2013. Then my dad probably had a year off or so. Then he raced Vet Modifieds for a guy named Tony Moore down here in Victoria. Where he did that for a year or two. Then, yeah, by that time I was 14, 15. We started building my current car now. Like, I haven't changed cars since.
Yeah, right.
Everyone wonders, like, what have we changed? Like, since I started running the wingless to now, it's not much. I'll tell you that now.
Nice.
Um, like, motor's the same, everything's the same. But yeah, I started running wingless basically 2 weeks after my 16th birthday.
Yep.
We went to Avalon, I'm pretty sure, for my first night, for the Halloween night that they have. I know I've skipped a lot of speedway kart and stuff, but it's all in the past. It's
No,
just
that's all right. That's okay.
growing up.
Yep.
So yeah, I ran wingless. I've basically ran wingless since I was 16. I'm 22 now. 2 years ago, I got a shot in the Foster's Transport V18 360 sprint car.
Yep.
Anthony Foster and Samantha Miller gave me that opportunity, which I'm eternally grateful for, because I don't know if anyone else would have given me a shot in a wing car. And yeah, that deal's kind of ended now, and yeah, we're just full focus on wingless, and yeah, with this WoW series, it's going to be pretty big, and yeah, we're going to get after it with the Fitzpatricks. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've had a very good, I think, history in just starting karting. Interesting, you started like around the 7, 8 years of age, which is sort of where you want it to be. I'm finding it interesting talking to so many different drivers how some are real late bloomers and some have been doing it since, almost they could, which
as
was
soon
like,
as we could,
yeah,
yeah.
age of 7, which is pretty cool to see. But one thing about you is I've noticed, and I was quite shocked when I saw you were 22, and I thought, man, this kid is so mature behind the wheel. Like, yeah, that sort of threw me for a 6. I thought maybe 24 or something like that, 25. But yeah, okay, wow, like you definitely got your head screwed on right. I asked this question to a lot of people, and it's not too. It's just to sort of sum up things. So we all understand a go kart. We go down to our local hire kart, or some of us still
Yeah,
race go karts, whatever it is.
have some fun.
And yeah, and you see the tires in front of you, and you turn the wheel, everything's fine. Then when you translate from that to a wingless car, or I'm going to talk wingless because that's what I love.
Yep,
How
that's
did
cool.
you find going from seeing those wheels, all of a sudden not seeing the wheels, to having a steering wheel where if you turn left, your wheels are turning right? Like, was that hard for you to adjust, or did you just pick it up no problems?
Uh, I so I'll another story. So my car was finished around, like I said, 14, 15. Like when I was 14, 15, we'd finished my car off. So it was perfect time. It was off season. Back then, you didn't have to have a license to go down a red line raceway at Ballarat. You just had to sign a waiver, give them $100, and you could go to as many laps as you want.
Wow. Okay.
Bit similar to how Blake Walsh's
Yeah, that shocked me, that one. Yep.
been running Carly's car since he was 13. So, but yeah, we went down to Ballarat twice. My first run in the car, I had no brakes. I didn't know that. I was pumping them. That's with the hydraulic brakes in the go karts. That's what I remember to do: pump the brakes, and they'll probably work eventually, maybe. Put it this way: I pulled back into the pits after my first session, and I ended up in the trailer.
Yeah. Whose fault was that? Was that Pete or what?
No, I
Let's
can't
not
blame
go
him. I didn't tell him. He keeps going. It gets better. So basically, the adaptiveness thing. Everyone thought, like a friend of ours, Aidan Robinson. They race wingless as well, or he races wingless as well. He told Dad, "Oh yeah, put this gear set in it. You know, we've had a couple of people in our cars, and you know it's fine for their first go in them. All right, whatever." Well, it was limiter bashing at the start finish line.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're on it. There you go.
I was pretty much straight on it. I'm like, I had this little thing in my head. I've got through the go karts and stuff, and I'd probably had like 4 or 5 years there in the go karts where I'd had my head screwed on a bit better. You know, I more comfortable with everyone around me. But I had this thing in my head, like, if I want to keep doing this and want to make this last a very long time, I got to be straight onto it.
Nice.
I did 3 sessions that day.
Yep.
By the end, and I believe Blake was there. But by the end of the 3rd session, I started a straightaway behind Blake, and I was on his ass pretty much in 2 or 3 laps.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I had a power steering line blow coming out of 2.
Jeez. So you experienced everything on your first day?
Yep.
Wow. And you still came back for more?
Yes. And then so I believe Dad hopped, because we have a friend of ours, Alicia Fielder. She had a lot more in a speedway kart than what I have. A couple of Australian championships and whatnot. Obviously, I don't know if you know, but Wingless in Victoria had a thing called Ladies of the Dirt Series.
Okay.
So all the girls got to have a go, and they didn't have to have the pressure that us guys have. And you know, they were either coming from karts, or they were drivers' wives or girlfriends or whatever.
I think I saw something about that. A buddy of mine, his partner drove. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But like it was no pressure. Like girls could go have some fun with each other, you know. Without the guys giving them a hard time.
Yep.
You know, out on the track, obviously. So we got a good family friend, Alicia. She wanted to jump in the hill. You know, she never ran anything other than a go kart. So we put her in the car. We gave her a run at red line as well. But after I blew the power steering line, I told Dad, that's it. Like, you know, we'll park it the next time. But we ended up getting the power steering line off Wayne Milburn Senior, because he had all these. He was trying to start this self-starting LS sprint car non-wing thing. Yep.
Oh wow.
After this, I'll send you a photo if I can find it.
Yeah.
There's a photo of all these old cars on a car carrier.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're just, I believe, to my knowledge now, they're still sitting on that car carrier. They haven't left yet.
Wow.
But yeah, so she got a run, and then so my old man goes, all right, yeah, because I'm using his seat anyways. I'm still using it today. Not the seat in the Fitz car. That's a brand new seat I bought to run the sprint car. But in my car, I've still got the exact same seat my old man used 10 years ago. The old Kirky hasn't gave up yet. I've had some pretty big hits. So
that's good.
Definitely. But so my old man hopped in the car, and back to the no brakes part. My old man hopped in the car.
Yep.
He went out there because he saw I was doing pretty good. Anyways, he went out there and he come back in. He goes, "Fucking thing's got no brakes."
Oh, wow.
I'm
Oh,
like, well,
jeez.
I didn't know they were kind of working.
Yep.
That's I thought, anyways. But yeah, so I did all these practice. I did a couple of practice days, and then yeah, we were smack bang. I think October 26th of whatever
Really?
that year was my first run at Avalon. So
Wow. Jeez. Okay. So
yeah,
now this is starting to really help me paint a picture as to why at the moment we've got such a influx of talent coming out of Victoria.
yeah,
And I mean, you're starting to get these young kids like yourself and Blake, and you're able to put them on tracks when they're 13, 14, 15 years old. Like, I don't think it's stupid. Like,
no,
I I think back to when we were doing karting and Tyson was like, 12 or whatever. I'd put him in a road tax, and only
yeah,
because I knew he could. Well, he wouldn't do anything stupid. I'm not saying he's going to set the world on fire, but he knew where the brakes were and what to do. But man, this is why you guys are coming out just swinging. Like, that's incredible because I think for a while Victoria's almost been the like the mecca of talent in wingless racing. Like, so many good
yeah,
drivers we spoke about before. Alex
yeah,
Ross, the Storer brothers.
yeah,
Um, there's so many more. Like, you got yourself, Hobson, Walsh, Miller, Luke Wheel, for crying out
yeah.
loud. Like, that kid's fast. Sealy, he's
I was gonna say the amount of yeah, he's probably the most unluckiest person I'd say in wingless Luke Whip. The amount of times he's finished runner-up in an Australian Championship.
yeah, he had a tough one up at that was him at Archfield last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he wrecked prelim night. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I junked our Todd and I's mate Thomas McDonald.
yeah. Oh, there's another driver, Thomas McDonald.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he's only raced wingless and then he's sprint car. So what he can do be on the wheel of a race car is pretty cool, considering
really.
he hasn't got the background from like the likes of what Todd and I have,
Yep, yep.
essentially. But yeah, I junked Thomas. So I had a horrible Australian title at Archfield.
Yeah,
Let's just say that. We weren't happy with where we got parked, for starters. And then it just, put it this way, it's a weekend to forget. We decided not to come back for night number 2. I was still there, just, but we just decided not to come back for night number 2. It just was not worth our time.
no, fair enough.
Put it this way, my old man left Brisbane. I don't know. My old man left Brisbane and was back at our place in Victoria probably 18 hours later.
What?
It
So
was not happening.
he didn't stay for night 2 either. He left.
No.
Wow.
So he's got a couple of friends up there, and
Yep.
they come to our carrying park that we were staying at, and we all left in the Uber to go to the track for night number 2. I think we stumbled in at 4 a.m. after drinking with Todd and celebrating. And then he was getting up to leave,
Wow.
and he was
Gone.
Yeah,
right. No, I do remember seeing you on that. It would have been like your points, like the points before the second night, and you were
Yeah,
like,
I don't honestly don't think we weren't horrible in points. Like, it would have been probably back of the B, but we weren't like it wasn't like it was. We probably could have salvaged something out of it,
Yep.
but it was just not. I wasn't in the right headspace.
Yep.
My man wasn't in the right headspace. We just said it's not worth it. We'll go again
No,
now. We'll go again another time.
that's fair. I mean, that's pretty mature of you guys to do that, because so many times we've spoken about on the show the way the point structure is.
Yeah.
If you have a bad run, I mean, I don't want to jump too far because we want to talk about the Lismore title later, but you've experienced it firsthand. But in saying that, like, you guys have also almost overcome it. Like, the track was wider. Let's go back to where we were. So when you jumped in your wingless from your go-kart, was that adaptation on the steering and all the rest all right, or did it take you a little bit to feel, especially around traffic, I guess? You'd have to know your boundaries.
I listened to a bit of your podcast with Kyle, and it's honestly a bit the same. All the racecraft it's pretty much the same thing.
Yep.
in my opinion, and I think most people might agree with me. They might not, may not. But coming from the go karts, it was either on or off
Right.
when you, as far as throttle goes.
Yep.
So, like the brakes, so everything you did with the brakes, you're still playing. You're still playing with the pedals with your feet. You're
Yep.
not. None of that's different.
Yep.
But with the throttle, you're either on or off. And Todd actually noticed the first practice that I did. He goes, why you on and off the throttle? You're doing that too much." I
Yeah.
said, "I don't know any different. It's either on or off."
Yeah.
Anyway, so then I've learned throttle control
Yeah.
essentially, but I've had to.
Yep.
Um, but honestly, it's just the racecraft it's it's similar.
Very
It's
similar.
it's
Okay.
it's
Yep.
not like driving like a junior sedan that's either front wheel drive or rear wheel drive, and you basically got the forklift knob on the wheel, and you going 280 turns that way and another 280 turns that way.
Yep.
And nothing against them because you see the talent coming out of junior sedans as well. But with the speedway karts, you are up on the wheel anyways.
Yep.
You are on the wingless as well. So it's just
Very
it's
similar. So you found it pretty
chalk
easy.
and cheese.
Yeah. Okay.
It's same. It's the racecraft is pretty much the same. It's a lot of it comes, and not being a wanker or to myself or whatever, but for me, it's a lot of it just comes naturally. It's not a thing I've had to learn or anything. And Todd even says it pisses him off that how I can jump in something and I've got it down pat like it's nothing.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, it's just a lot of it just comes naturally for me. It's probably the best thing I can do is drive a race car or something. I don't know. I can't. It's
Well,
hard to
I
explain.
mean, let's look at your stats. You got some really good stats behind you that show that what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like about a lot of the guys I've spoken to on this show. Like I haven't had a lot to do with everyone like yourself. You haven't had a lot to do with you. Definitely known of you about along to like heard your name a lot. Yeah. Then when I saw you, I thought, oh, I'm just gonna have a chat to you, see what this kid's all about. And yeah, your head wasn't anywhere it didn't need to be. And that's what I thought. No, he's a good kid. Like, but you've got his stats that back it up. But you're not one of them arrogant people either, which I think is probably really good.
I try not to be.
No, I don't think. I don't. I think you're good. Like I think at the Australian title we just had at Lismore, I sort of went around and spoke to numerous drivers, ones I didn't even know. Just hey man, how you going? How's your night? That sort of stuff. And I was blown away with how many people responded to me just by that. Like they didn't know who the heck I was. They didn't know that I was with the Chinese car or anything like that. And yeah, I thought that was good, and that's when I started thinking, we need to get something where we can talk more and people get to know each other because at the moment we're not seeing much. So anyway, yeah, as I said before, you're a good kid, head on your shoulders, got some results. Let's start talking about your results. So in 2021, Victorian state title. That's the night you ran third. So that was was that your first state title you did, or was that the first time you podiumed a state title?
It was might have been the second state title I did in the wingless.
Yep.
So bit of background to it. So obviously state titles, national titles. You don't just have your two heats. You might have 3 heats, you might have 4 heats, whatever. I won all 3 heats at the Simpson State at that title. I won all 3 heat races. I come from the back, come from the middle, started on the front. I won all 3 heat races like it was nothing.
Jesus.
Simpson's like my joint. It's just I don't know what works about it, but just I love Simpson.
Wow. Okay. Yep.
Anyways, I know I got posted around a bit on Facebook. Obviously, it's 4 years ago now. But it was A main was the 30 lap A main, but it was Wheelie, Rossi, and myself basically dicing it out for 30 laps straight. Like you could throw a blanket over us for 30 laps.
Yep.
I myself, and I can even see it on the video. You can tell I was there, but I wasn't. I could have if it was me today, I probably would have thrown 10 sliders on Rossi and Wheelie, and probably would have drove past him. It just me looking at it from like the way I could drive up to him and just stay with him. It was, it was me building the confidence up in my head, and I just didn't have that yet.
Yep.
Which is fine because still a great result for what we did. But everyone would remember, or most people would remember, it was an absolute thriller. A lot of people regard it as, other than probably Chariots last year, as some of the best wingless racing you'll ever see.
Right.
But yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to get my hands on it. By any chance, was that on Clayview or something like that?
I think it was on Dream Multimedia.
Dream.
I'll find it after this.
Yeah. Oh, damn! I want to watch that. So I'm now starting to think. We've spoken about it a bit more. We'll talk about it later. But come this WoW series, when it hits Simpson, we're in for a show.
100%.
We are in for a show. Like
they've got that. If they get that joint cherry right, we can just roll the bottom or absolutely smash the boards down.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be one of the best races on the WoW tour.
Wow.
I'd say that now.
Here I am saying, wow. I'm looking forward to that. Like, man, because I don't want to talk too much about Blake. We've already spoken with him, but like, he's talking that one up too, and you've got some stats too as well. So,
yep.
All right. Talk to me about the 2021. Was it the Gary Bowden Cup?
Yeah, so the Gary Bowden Cup.
Bowden Cup, sorry. Can you explain that to me? I've never heard of that event before. So,
back in the day, so around when my old man was racing, there was a guy called Gary Bowden.
Yep.
Can't remember if he was the Victorian president at some point or just the secretary, but basically a big name in Victoria. It's not that he won a lot of races or was, like he was competitive, but not that he won a lot of races or was just, he was just one of the guys having some fun,
Yep.
Anyways, my old man had and everyone who knew Gary, like everyone who goes to that event wins it, and most of them know Gary, and most of them, everyone knows the significance of it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I put that up there as one of my big results.
Yep.
I junked the car. Like, we had 3 heats. I junked the car in the third heat. Flatwood by somebody going in the back straight.
Yep.
So we got the car back together as best we could. I saw the driveline was still in it. Like, my old man's walking off with Thomas McDonald, and they're laughing, saying, "Oh, we're going to go drink beers up on the hill." No, not the case. Like, Matty Easton come over. I had a look. I looked at it on the track. I'm like, it just needs a driveline. Like, the driveline's in it. Like, it just needs what do it need? Rear torsion arm. We needed the bird cage, right rear radius rod, Jacob's ladder, and we were good. Anyways, I yelled that through the fence. They laughing at me. I got back to the trailer before they did. Like, they're walking. I ran past them. I made the tractor guy bring the car back in straight away. Like, this was the first lap of the heat race. So I'm like, that car's got to go straight back to the trailer. I'm like, we can get that back out there. Anyways, couldn't find the rotary bar we needed, so I chucked a completely different rotary bar in it. I'm like, yeah, okay, that'll work. It's getting slicker. Should be right. So I think we started maybe 13th. Now, Todd had a bad night then. That particular night, Todd had a bad night as well. The first heat in particular, so as everyone knows, it doesn't matter if you're the cause, doesn't matter if you were just, you were stopping in the incident.
Yep.
You stop, you get to the rear.
Yep.
That's the rule. So Peter Logue, everyone knows,
Yep.
Most people know who Pete is.
Yep.
Legend of the sport. So Logie loves to play games with people, even when he's starting on the second row out of 3, and you're the pole sitter. So I hadn't gone yet. I was playing games with the guy who was out of 2. Anyways, he kind of went. Logie went. Logie hopped over me left rear and his right front got stuck in my Nerf bar.
Oh, no.
Really? Anyways, I tried to keep it going.
Yeah.
Couldn't. That was right. Anyways, but because of the way VSC's rules are, some of the stewards don't understand. They don't know that rule, that
Yep.
particular rule. They don't know. So complete restart. V98, you're to the rear. You caused it. VX89, take your position. Go back to the pole. All right, no worries. Todd went to argue it to the point where he got black flagged and put on the infield.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
If you have Todd back on the show, ask him about it because
well, he's got to come back on to show me around the race shop. But yeah, okay.
Yep.
So he got sent to the infield.
So he got sent to the
Wow.
he got sent to the infield.
Troy.
Anyways, I've heard his old man Lordy
Yes.
absolutely apparently was abusing him from the fence on the back straight.
I could hear that from here. Yeah.
You know, and you get that from Lordy. Like,
Yep.
you know. But anyways, we all got back to the pits. Like Todd was, I don't know, maybe 100 meters away, and you could just hear Lordy laying into him like it was nothing. It was the best thing ever. It was funny as all hell.
Nice.
Anyways, yeah, so I started maybe third. So we both had bad nights. I started maybe 13th in that feature. Todd started 8th. I think Todd got to third, but like maybe, I think by lap 9 it was like 25 lap feature. But by lap 9, I'd already taken the lead.
Yep. Oh, yeah, nice.
Maybe by lap 15, I'd already put a straightaway between me and whoever was in second.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. Like, considering we just thrown the car back together with what we had, and
I need to find out what bar you put in that thing. Wow.
We've still got it.
Yeah, there you go.
Say that now. But Gary was big at least in the Gippsland side of Victorian wingless. Dad always used to. He was always frenemies with Dad on the track, you know. Good to have a beer with afterwards, but you know, they were their biggest enemies to each other on the track. So that was a pretty special one for me to win.
Absolutely.
You know who Gary was, and I know who he was and how much he meant to everybody. So
no, well done on that. So I'm glad. Yeah, thanks for telling us about that one, because I think memorial races are always a good one to win, especially if they've got a personal touch to them.
Definitely.
So you sort of rolled on from there, and then you went to the 21-22 Victorian. You won the Point Series Championship, the Aggregate.
Yep.
So, what is that?
So, the aggregate points, basically, this is the overall Victorian, or the overall points.
Oh, so you guys just put a fancy word in front of it.
Jeez,
look at you guys go down there, Victoria. Wow. Nah, fair enough. Okay, made me look like it was good. All right, see, that was pretty impressive to get the overall points compared to
I've hearing like how I know Travis Miller did it back in the day. It was him and one other car. I think they did like 32 or 33 nights, because that's just how big the Victorian schedule was.
Right.
They'd go race at Horsham one night and go all the way to Druin, which is probably 5 or 6 hours away. The next day, or like just for a day show, the next day, just because it was an aggregate point show, they had to.
Gotcha.
You know, they were battling for the points. They had to show up at every race they could
to do it. Yeah, gotcha.
So that particular year that might have been the first year straight out of COVID.
It was.
Yep. So I was, because we still had all the mandates, or most of the mandates were still in place, because we were allowed to race. So the amount of races I actually had to do to win it weren't as significant. I just had to do well at the races I went to.
Okay.
So I got a bit lucky with how I won the aggregate.
So how many races did you do that season? Do you remember?
It might have been 10. It might have been 12.
Right. Okay.
It was like nothing.
Yeah.
I know. So there's a speedway carter named Jack Regan. So he actually won the aggregate this year. I believe he did 33 or 34 nights.
So
I've never. The most I've done was probably this year, and I did 20.
You did 20 this season?
Yeah, but that spanned from Chariots.
Well, okay, yeah. We'll be talking about that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, because that's one thing I did notice about Victoria. So you guys will run a you guys sometimes even run a Friday night at one venue and
Yeah.
a Saturday night at another venue. And that's not called, like, you don't do that for you. Like, for us to do that, it's almost like a Easter Trail deal, or something like that. Whereas you guys sort of do multiple races on the same weekend. New South Wales, we don't have that.
So we got a big thing. Melbourne Cup weekend,
Mhm.
essentially. So I plan on. So I know it's the weekend before the WoW series.
Yep.
But being fortunate enough to have the Fitzpatrick deal, and my own deal, I can go run my own car. You know, like if it's too close for the Fitzes to want to run the 2 car, we'll just jump back in the 89, and I plan on having a few skids in that this year, anyways. But like Melbourne Cup weekend, Saturday night I'm running Warrnambool.
Yep.
Like, well, this is the plan anyway. Saturday night I'm running Warrnambool. Sunday Nora, Monday Nora.
Really?
Yep. So, and then Tuesday's public holiday for us.
And here I am saying, at the moment we've got Victorians just absolutely destroying it in wingless, and here's the reason. You guys are getting like doubles it. I know for us, like, we got like Mark Blyton, and who hits him, up in the 20s races a year. But he's travelling, like Queensland, down to Victoria, South Australia. Andrew Series sort of does the same thing. Because, man, how many races do you reckon you're going to hit up this season? Just roughly. You're going to be in the mid-20s, or?
I ran a schedule past. So this might change.
Yeah, that's
I can
all right.
mention it. I might mention it later if I might mention it a little bit later in this, but put it this way, I got to save a lot of money between now and June next year.
Say no more. I hear you, and say no more. Oh, no.
Always to do with racing, but yeah. So the schedule might change a little bit for us as far as what I do in my own car and what the Fitzpatricks want to do. But because I think Gary mentioned we might be doing SummerSlam in the Fitz car, so I might be doing it in my car. But anyways, I don't know. So I ran a schedule past. I put a proposed schedule past Gary, just because I've been at this job for 4 or 5 months now that I'm working at.
Yep.
I gave the boss all my dates. Basically, told him while I was going to America. I asked for the America time off like a month into being there.
Wow.
Fortunate enough that he gave it to me. He's basically just said, just send me your dates that you want off, and you can have them. You don't care. I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyway, so I just put something together, what I want to do and what I think the Fitzes will want to do. But obviously they work week to week. So, like Gary messaged me maybe I don't know, maybe late last night and just said, "Hey, you were still keen to do Mildura next week?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Jeez, I tell you what, just getting that text message from Gary, I reckon would be pretty cool as a driver.
There's a couple of text messages I've gotten from Gary that have been like, "Hey, what are you doing in like last year? What are you doing? Are you busy in August? Do you want to go run Chariots?" Like,
that's awesome.
Like I've gotten a couple of cool messages like that from Gary that are like, okay, it's pretty cool. What I've achieved in Wingless, getting messages from someone like Gary is saying, "Hey, do you want to come drive our car?"
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to me. But the schedule I ran past Gary, it's obviously it's proposed. Anything can change, so it might end up we do 15 nights, but I think the schedule had 24 to 26 shows on it.
Yeah, right.
So that's pretty. Yeah,
I mean,
pretty decent.
I think when you look at what Wingless was when it first came about, I need to have a chat with like Freddy Walsh or something one 100%. Day, because he seems like he knows exactly everything. He'll be able to inform me, which would be great. But I think when it started from there to where it's come to now, hearing drivers are driving multiple cars, and the level of these cars now, and we're doing mid-20s shows a season. I don't think that was ever thought of as a possibility back then. You know what I mean?
Like, I so limited sportsman class in Victoria, the VSC class. Me probably looking at Wingless back then, because I'm under the impression that Australian Speedway in a whole has got way too many classes.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Way too many.
Yes.
Like, yes, everyone's got their own foot in whatever they got their feet in, which is fine. But we never needed more than we never needed. I think we're shied away from, like, you've got your super sedans and stuff, which is cool.
Yep.
But we never needed late models to come. We never needed the Grand Nationals to turn to late models or super sedans or go both ways. We just needed them to stay on one path.
One part. Yep.
But just, I think back then, I think that's how Wingless probably got looked at. That it probably wasn't going to go very far.
No, I agree with you on that one. Yep.
It's because they don't have the V8 motor. They're just, like, you look at some of the photos of cars back then. They're just,
dude,
they're like, I wouldn't drive it today.
No, we were talking before about, I was telling a story about an Australian title back in, I can't remember if it was 90, 97, 98, 99. Anyway, in karting, and you look at like the suits back in karting back in those days, and yeah, I'm with you on the wingless. Like, I remember I got introduced to wingless in like 2012, around there. Yep. Got asked to crew for Michaela Dumsney, and I'm like, what is this thing? Like, like, yeah, it looked good. It had Who's Your Lover, but I'm like, man, this thing's, what the?
And that's when the cars started turning, like, they started getting a lot nicer.
But see, that was her car. Then I looked down the field and I seen some cars that have been in there. They were like low bar cars and stuff like that. You think, what the heck is going on here? They got like sort of faded orange panels, not knocking orange, please, but like big, massive checker graphics, like straight up and down, not even on a lean or anything. Like, I'm like, what? It looked like someone just learned, or they got a vinyl plotter off eBay and just went, racing graphics, click, and it was terrible, man. It was terrible. It was so bad. But like now, you look at all the cars, and over the last couple of years, you start looking at the cars, and
like one thing that my old man says, like, we've got to be professional. We've got to be professional. Now, I got that in my head a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want to have some fun too. Like, I'm not, if I take it too seriously, like, it's just, I don't think I can do as well as what I do. I don't.
I think we all, as a whole, we all need to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it shows that we care about what we've got, and it adds value to it. If we all just went, they're just heaps of shit, like, the commentator at whatever track is telling anyone, they're just, wrecker motors. Like, come on, man. Go show me a wrecker motor. Please show me a wrecker motor.
Like, pretty much half the wingless in the field now, you could, not that I would, but half the wingless that you've got running now, take the V6 out, bolt a 410 in, chuck some wings on it, and you got a great wing car.
Absolutely, yeah.
I
got a bit of shit at the start of doing this when I was saying $50,000 cars, and I'm not saying you need it. I'm just saying
it's half true. They're out there.
When you start adding up a brand new Maxim, brand new those lightweight diffs and all the rest of this stuff, and all your gear sets you need for those things, and your ATL tanks and stuff, mate, you get there. Go put a Fiberworks seat. You're getting there. Throw some nice digital gauges. Yeah, we're almost there. Sorry, we got off topic there, but anyway, I'm hearing you. Tell me about your front road challenge.
Yeah, so front road challenge 2022.
Yes.
Again at Simpson. Everyone starts to get the gist. I love Simpson. I'm probably the biggest advocate for it. The Pleasure Dome.
This is good because
the t-shirt.
I'm looking forward to catching up with you and Blake Walsh now down at Simpson, because I have to put you guys both on the spot to see who loves Simpson more.
We're gonna put I think if it's us two on the front row, well, I think we're gonna put a show on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but the 2022 front row challenge, since they've changed pay structure and how it works, but back then it's only a couple of years ago, but yeah. Anyways,
you're 22. You're talking like it's 10 years ago. Anyway.
I know. But basically, so your top 6 qualifiers.
Yep.
So if I was top points, I got to decide now it's the top 6 qualifiers. Let me restart. Your pole sitter basically gets to decide what 6 cars he wants to bring back. Now that could be the guy in 16th, he
Oh,
could
really?
come back with you. Yep. It could be anyone throughout the field. Now, but the deal is there's no tow money for it back then. There was no tow money for it. So it was either.
Oh wow, everything's on the
whole
nose.
thing was they either had to scrap the way the challenge worked, and because if you won, I think I won because I won it. I may be wrong, but I think I got either just over $2,000 or just under $2,000 for winning it.
Jesus. Okay.
So
Wow.
basically, and the way it worked was because it keeps changing from time to time. But the way it worked when I won it was I was the top qualifier, so if I wanted to go back and take the challenge, I instantly got $500.
Yep.
So that was fine because we were pretty much a force to be reckoned with that night. So I took 5 people back with me. I had to start 14th in front of the B main cars.
Yep.
Or 16th, whatever it was. Anyways, I chose 5 cars to come back with me that, I thought were my competition. So Luke Wheel and I believe, got to the top 3 maybe in 5 or 6 laps.
Ooh.
Like, now, if you go through my Facebook a bit, Tyler Barton Motorsports and Media, there's so Tyler actually put a GoPro on my car and has got the whole feature, my whole onboard from that feature race.
Okay.
But I was leading it in under 10 laps.
Really?
Yeah. So I passed Wheelie.
Yeah.
So we left Mick Rigby up there it was kind of the dark horse, like don't know what you're gonna do because he's pretty good at Simpson. When he has his 90, he's good at Simpson. But we left him up there. We're like, all right, we'll leave Mick up there, and whatever happens, happens. So Mick kind of was setting his own pace and was fine because he was probably the only car we struggled to actually get to and pass.
Yeah.
But I passed Mick. I can't even remember if Wheelie did or not. But I passed Mick and took off. Like, there was, I had the afterburners going. But it was probably under 10 laps that I won that feature in under 10 laps to the point it was getting late. I'm not saying that this was how it went or not, but there was a yellow of probably 5 to go, or a car spun when I was in heavy lap traffic in front of me with about 5 to go. Apparently, somebody said to the chief steward, he's going to win anyways, we're declaring it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
So it got declared probably 5 laps before, it could have been a thriller last 5 laps. Mick could have had something for me. Maybe. You never know.
But, no, I mean, 5 laps to go, money on the line, just send it.
This way, the same thing happened to me at the front row this year.
Yep.
Now, I haven't ran bleeders in my car till this year.
Okay.
Just haven't.
Really?
And it's been probably a downfall for us this year because we've been there and thereabouts, and then we've just struggled late in the race or mid-race to late. We've just struggled big time. Mm-hmm. Just because, and we've put it down to tyres. That was not tyre wear, but just how tyre expands.
Yep. Yep.
I had a 3.5 second lead on Blake with 5 to run. Somebody pulled up on the infield, but up against the concrete barrier. So they didn't pull in. I wish they did because I would have won it.
Yep.
Anyways, so basically restarted. I thought I fired off really good. I didn't hear him going into turn 1. Anyways, I thought, yep, we're good coming out of 2. He threw the biggest slide job on me going into turn 3.
Really?
And the thing just pulled on me. I'm like, really? Anyways, then Nick Ryan threw a slider on me for the second. I covered him, but then I kept this half a straightaway distance to Blake for the last 5 laps of the race. I'm like, really? And then we put it down. We put it down to bleeders, but yeah, it's just
wow.
2022 front row challenge that's something I don't think I'll ever forget. Just the way I was passing cars. It was
Who
nothing.
who were this? Okay, so who are the other five? So who? Well, you named one, but who are the five you brought back?
Okay, so I don't know. I don't think if Blake was racing that night, I didn't take him back. So, because just I didn't think he was. Yeah, I didn't think he was our competition.
Oh, that's a bit.
In that one.
Ooh, fiery words there,
In the last 18 months,
man.
Blake has gotten like he's
Dude,
just been on fire,
he's
and it's
and
just
like even this week, geez, he
well,
just
what
won the Northern Territory title.
100%. Like what I've been telling people is they've found something that
Yep.
we just all got to work hard and catch up to them.
Yeah.
That's basically how it is.
Yep.
Um. Anyways, but I took Sam Wren back.
Oh yeah,
Um.
I've heard of. Yep. Yep.
Yep. Wheelie.
Yep.
So Alex Ross's little brother Harry.
Okay.
I
Yep.
took him back. I took a guy named Jake Dooley back.
Yep.
So Jake's, I believe, Jack Lee's cousin.
Okay. Yep.
Because he's always got the lead contracting. It's literally the
I've seen the car now. You've mentioned it. Yep.
dead same.
Looks
The
awesome.
thing showed up a Horsham in a beat up trailer. They took the bonnet off. I'm like, this thing's fucking immaculate. Like
Really?
BMRS hoses. It was like, you know.
Wow.
And I don't. Oh, who else did I take back? There was one more. I can't remember who else I took back, but I took basically the five I thought could
Yep.
beat us. I took them back with me.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was pretty cool.
That's good, and you got the win, which is even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done. And again,
Thank
your
you.
favorite track. So now roll on after that. We go to the 22-23 Vic titles.
Yep.
This one you go one better than you did the year before because you run second.
Yeah.
Tell us about this one.
So I actually missed a mate's wedding, and now I look back at it, like if I won, it'd probably be a bit of a different story. But I look back at it now, I'm like, I probably should have gone to the wedding, you know. Caused a bit of grief, but that's whatever. That's it, all in the past. We're all good now. So I started on pole. I qualified again. So I put it on the front row on the pole for the Simpsons, the title of Simpson the year before, or it might have even been year before that, but whatever. It's there. Anyways, I was going off with the trophies when I sent them to you. So
nice.
Anyways, so I put it on pole next to Travis Miller.
Yep.
So it was pretty one lane. I think whoever was leading into one was going to win the feature.
All right.
That was, and I kept pace with Travis the whole race. But coming to the chalk line out of 4, because we were banging wheels the whole time, on the roll around lap. He ran over me right front. I'm surprised it was good for the whole race because we got back to our place 45 minutes away, probably 3 hours or 2.5, 3 hours later. Like, I was doing it to him as well, so it's whatever.
Yep.
I was getting it as good as what I was given.
Yep.
But we got back to our place, went to go grab a drink out of the esky. I looked in the trail, I'm like, the right front tire is dead flat.
Wow.
I don't, so anyways, but that Vic title, I was surprised the amount of cars that showed up because I think Egan even showed up for it.
Yeah, okay.
But that was, it was at our home track. I call it our home track. It's the closest track we have to our place.
Yep.
Yeah, we did all right. Probably should have won it, but we did all right. So that's in the achievements. That goes in the achievement books.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What you're starting to show is at these big meetings, you're definitely a contender.
Yeah, that's how. We'll get to it because it's coming. But I ran the last Australian title at Warrnambool. I was in the B main. That was my first Australian title. Archerfield was just a complete throw out the window. I don't even really want to even remember that, but it's there, and that's how we grow because we have these experiences and we learn from it.
Yep.
But then we had and then I jumped basically in one of the best cars in the country at Lismore, and we weren't perfect, but we were pretty close to it. So
yeah, yep. So was that so? Okay, so question from my side.
Yep.
So you said you raced at Warrnambool for the Australian title.
Yep.
Then you didn't do Murray Bridge?
No.
Okay, so you've only done 3 Australian titles.
Yep.
Okay. All right. No, it's good now because see, sometimes you see these names around, and you just I just assume they've been around the whole way. Like I assumed every Australian title they've been to. But that's interesting to hear. Like
it's actually funny. So because I was a bit committed to the sprint car deal I had 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because I wanted to be as committed as I could to that. So I actually turned Larry and Gary down to run the DRC at Murray Bridge.
You're kidding?
Yep. Because that was a spare car for Todd at Murray Bridge. So.
And you still get a call up. Jeez, that goes to show you're a good peddler.
Yep. So basically, I remember it clear as day. Dad got a message from either Larry or Gary saying we'd love him to drive the car at Murray Bridge, And Dad asked me, "Do you want to do it?" I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, "There's a SRA show at Avalon in the sprint car, and I kind of want to." My first sprint car show at Miami. We were on the podium, but it was. I call it a bit of a fluke, but I don't at the same time because we had the car speed and we were there at the end anyways.
Yeah.
But I kind of just wanted to keep getting better and better at that, just because I knew what we'd do, not last season that we just went, but the season before. I knew that's what we were kind of setting ourselves up for, to go full time with the 360 All Stars. So I just wanted to keep bettering myself in the wing car and. Mm-hmm. Not moving on from the wingless, but taking a bit of a step back because at the time there was a plan in place and it was going to elevate me a bit more and put me in the sprint car a bit more. That sense, obviously, plans change and whatever. It is what it is. And nothing bad either. But so Larry and Gary actually asked if I wanted to run it, and we had to turn it down, but the message because my old man had a couple of drinks. I'm like, let me type the message back.
Pete had a few to go. He was going, nah, yeah. Wow.
But I said, well, just say it like as if, yes, I'd love to do it, but I'm committed to the sprint car.
Yep.
If an opportunity comes up in the future, I'll 100% take it. I won't say no.
Yeah, right.
And obviously we'll get it's probably going to be the next, probably one of the next talking points, but yeah.
Jeez, just to think, all these drivers out there who would love to be in an LFA car and you turned them down. Treat them in, keep them keen.
Yep,
all right, well, that's going to roll on to our next one we're going to discuss is the 23 Chariots.
Yeah.
Now, I remember watching this live. I was sitting and we were watching the race, and obviously I knew LFA with Todd, and I seen you had this opportunity, and I'm thinking, man, this kid's got some shoes to fill, and wow, like you did an amazing job, man. But yeah, tell us about your time with them up there.
All right, so it actually starts at Swan Hill the week after Todd won the Australian title.
Really?
So,
okay. Yep. Yeah.
So I binned it in my last heat at the Australian title at Archfield.
Yep.
That was another reason that we decided to park it. Anyways, I kind of hurt my elbow, and now I can't remember, it was one of the O'Connells from Queensland. I got flat wheeled in my first heat.
Yeah, right.
And I banged my right or left, I can't even remember now. I banged one of my elbows on the back of the cage. I could hardly move my arm. And that's not been a wuss or anything, but that's,
Yep.
So it wasn't one of the things that led to that decision, but I knew I was running the DRC at Swan Hill the week after just to get ready, just to get an idea of how it drove for Chariots.
Yep.
So I knew already by then I was doing Chariots with the Fitzes.
That'd be awesome.
Anyways, so we actually won. Who we were racing? I can't remember who we were racing. There was a couple of good cars. Anyways, we started pole in the feature at Swan Hill. We won that by 7.5 seconds.
What?
Yeah. I've never driven that. I never drove the car before. I just was going off basically what Todd told me how I drove.
You kidding me?
No. So the car actually never got back to the base in Geelong. It stayed in it on the way home. They left it at Swan Hill.
Really?
Yeah. So we had the exact same. So I think the tyre I ran in the feature was the exact same tyre Todd ran in the Australian title.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's done 2 wins. Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so when you first hopped in that car, so much to take in. All right, so you've hopped in this car, a proven winning car right now. What would have been going through your head at the very first, like when you rolled out for your first heat? How was your mindset?
So I was lucky. We were fortunate enough to get hot laps. So that was good. That was always good. That's always a good thing. But I don't know. I just see because Todd lived. Gonna say his house for the last however many years has been 15 minutes away from home.
Yep.
So we actually went out to tea because he was having a big dinner with our friends. That's particular Saturday night. And I knew I was going to Swan Hill, so we went out for tea during the week. And I happened to ask, and that was also what led me to going to America last year as well.
Yep.
He just said, "Yeah, I've got there's definitely a room for you to stay in." So, anyways, shying away off topic. Basically, Todd just told me how the car drove, and I just had that in my head that that is exactly how this car is going to drive.
Yep.
I know exactly what it's going to do. I just need to adapt to it.
Wow.
That's all I had in my head.
So, like, you didn't have to worry about trying to negotiate sets with Gary or anyone like that. It was just
so Gary couldn't make it.
Okay.
But so it was Gav and Sean,
Gavin, yep,
his brothers, yep. I just told Gary, just give me whatever Todd got. I'd spoken to Gary. I said, just give me whatever Todd has. Whatever Todd would normally start with as a base setup, just give me that, and we'll work off it.
Yep.
Anyways, that was fine. So, yeah, they basically just gave me whatever Todd would normally start with. That's what we jumped to. And
wow. Okay.
We were pretty good from the outset.
Yeah.
We weren't. You know, I think first day I struggled a little bit just because I was getting my head around because the DRC drives completely different to any other car I've driven.
Yep.
Just the way it negotiates a corner is just there's nothing like it.
Really? Okay. Yep.
Not here anyways. And that could be the Fitzes or Gary and just, you know, perfecting whatever setup they put in it and however they set the car up, or that just could be the way a DRC is made.
Yeah.
That's because it's a completely different car.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how I started. That's how we went out for the first heat. We struggled a little bit.
Okay.
We still got up to 4 from the back, but we struggled. The next heat I won from the front. Then the feature I just had the
checked out, gone.
Pretty much.
Wow.
So then we're like, okay, we've got a good baseline for Chariots, so that works. And then basically because that was the exact motor that got sealed. Obviously it was the car. It was the same car. So they ripped that motor out basically straight after the next morning they ripped that out. Like 10 o'clock the next morning, the motor was out of the car.
Really?
Yeah. So then that sets us all the way to Chariots. Flew up there on the Thursday night, met Gary at the airport.
Nice.
Larry picked us up. They're really good to me. Have let me sleep in and stuff. Like they really know how to treat a driver.
Okay. Not like Pete, eh?
Anyways, let me sleep in that
Yeah.
first Friday morning, and while they went and did a little bit of running around and stuff. Anyways, they rang me like, yeah, it's time to go to the track and stuff. Okay, whatever. Went to the track and just the mindset was there. Like I get really with the Fitzes, I'm just really relaxed in the zone, ready to, as soon as I'm in the car, I'm ready to go. It's just there's no overthinking about it and stuff. Anyways, but yeah, like we ran the first night Chariots, and we're like, okay, we got something here. Like, pretty lucky that it's not them features were 25 laps and not 30, because it broke a bolt in the front end.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if you remember, but
yes.
I was going back through the infield. I went to steer right around a cone, and the car kept wanting to go straight. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? The left front wheel was still on its own thing.
Yeah, one was one way, one was the other way. I remember seeing that, and I thought, man, that team knows how to get every inch out of their parts. Like, whew, imagine if that went a lap earlier. Wow.
Yeah, so because somebody, actually, it might have been Bailey Goodwin's partner, Kayla.
Kayla, yep.
Yep. She messaged because she's Keats's nurse.
Yeah.
So she messaged me and goes, "What happened after the start finish line? What happened after the checkered?" I said, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Because the car snapped on me in one." Yep. I'm like, I don't know. That was just me, but I think it was actually the front end was
letting go,
hanging on by a thread, pretty much.
Wow. Yeah, now that you mention it, I do recall seeing that, and I sat there thinking, what just happened there?
Yeah, so we went basically from hero to zero pretty quick, because the next night we were good, but we weren't we weren't perfect, and even then we were like I was having issues in that feature, motor wise, because
really?
The next night we blew the motor.
Shit, that's right. Yes.
And so I'll send you photos of that.
I actually recall. I think I sent a text to Todd saying, "Oh mate, just destroyed your car," like just being tongue in cheek. And I was trying to fire up old Troy, but So you had up there was a very mixed bag of emotions, like very fast, picking up some wins, and then
so
the complete other side.
And like Gary even said it, like we missed the setup for that feature, because what I could do night one, I couldn't do night two. In I couldn't. Obviously the track was juiced up night one. Night two, it built a curb, but the curb was. It wasn't a progressive curb. It was like a motocross track.
Okay.
So Blake went around the outside of me maybe lap 2. But he's like full Mach 10, like just right foot planted on the curb. I tried doing it on the roll around laps. The thing wanted to kill me. Anyways, I told Gary when we got back in, when we finally got back in from the infield, I'm like, we totally missed it. I could only drive that car 80%. I could not give it 110%. I was not leaving anything on the table, but I couldn't do anything else.
Yep.
Anyways, so yeah, then we'd agreed, like we all Larry, Gary, and I agreed, if we couldn't find a motor or couldn't find we're not saying we couldn't, not that we couldn't find borrow a motor off anybody, but if we couldn't find a decent motor, we didn't want it, because obviously we'd come
you don't want to just throw a wrecker motor. You don't know what's going to do in there. That's just silly.
Yeah, we didn't want just anything, and we got heaps of offers from people, and all of which we're appreciative for. I'm tipping, even if it was one offer from a guy that just had an old wrecker motor that he knew would run in a car in a wingless, and I'm tipping we probably would have taken it to do the last weekend.
Okay.
But we wanted a decent motor, because we knew after that Friday night win, we knew we were pretty. We'd had a shot. We'd still have a shot at clinching the overall if we had 2 great nights.
Yep.
Next Friday night, I had a absolute belter of a race was Zach Grimshaw. Yeah, we come out on top. Just through the traffic was very, very predictable, and just I could put the car wherever I wanted pretty much, and it just worked. Then night number 4. Well, still a bit dirty of brewery. No, we're not.
You're all right with it? You're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
No, we're good. I think we're blind. We're blind probably at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. after that race meeting. He had to hop on a plane at 9 a.m. to go to the airport.
Yep.
I'll go to the airport at 9 a.m. to hop on a plane, I believe. But yeah, we had a really, really good race. Then, way I see it, Broomy kind of, obviously, I started 5th or whatever it was. I pulled some really good moves off and put myself in 2nd, and I think a red come out for Keelan Edwards. I can't even remember, but I rolled past Broomy, just let him know I'm here.
Yep.
Not that he would have been phased by it or anything, but I rolled past Broomy. I'm like, okay, this is where it's at now. Anyways, so we were throwing haymakers at each other till we got to traffic, and then I give it to him. It was pretty ballsy, but I didn't leave. I don't think I left the car width between the right rear and the wall, but he made the car width. I tell you that.
Yeah.
He was squeezed between my right rear, and the fence. But the way traffic was going, Will Caruso, I think, was the next car in lap traffic, because I was struggling. I wasn't struggling, but the lap traffic wasn't as predictable as the night before. I think the lap cars all learned. The way I see it, the lap cars learned something from the night before, and they're like, okay, we'll go run up here, and we can move around. There's heaps more racetrack than just running the bottom or running the top. Anyways, that's all right. So Broomy obviously put his car between my right rear and the wall, and the way I remember it, and the way I see it, he's turned into the corner. He's turned into the corner as if he was going to dart straight to the bottom.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yep.
Where he turned in, but the way I see it, he turned in across my nose. So I couldn't, I had to, there was no way I could not possibly avoid any contact with him.
Yep.
Now, with the contact, I could have just flat wheeled him and drove off and probably gone on to win the thing. But I probably would have junked his front end by doing that, and junked my they did some more damage did some damage in the DRC. I'm like, that's not worth it. So I did what I could, and I don't know. We had a good race, and at the end we handed Jason Davis the win. So,
yeah, I mean, wasn't he the lucky one at the end of all that?
Well, I saw a Facebook, because it was obviously 2 weeks ago or a week ago, whatever it was, Chariots last year. So I saw a Facebook memory come up. He personally thank you, Mitchell Broom and Christopher Temby, for giving me the win.
Oh, man. I remember that, yeah. And, yeah, he got it, just think, anyway, that was, I think it's crazy when we get Wingless up there, and they put on some great racing, like you guys did. Fair enough, okay, you and Broomy, it sort of went that direction, But when you look at it, the racing, the quality of racing you guys are putting on, or the division's putting on, in the eyes of the top dog sprint cars, sometimes, man, we put on way better racing.
Well, I can tell you, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure the reason that I know Wingless got put on as an invite only, and I'd pretty much only be speculating with this. I heard rumors the reason Wingless aren't on the cards at Chariots of Thunder this year.
No, they're on.
They are, but they're not. They're an invite only.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Yes, they're not exact.
So
yes.
The reason they're not getting their own Chariots it wasn't nothing against junior sedans or like uplifting the kids, because they, at the end of the day, as much as I am only 22, a 10-year-old is the future. A 10-year-old coming through junior sedans could be the next James McFadden.
Yes.
You never know.
Yeah, true. Yes.
So they are the future-esque of the sport, I guess.
Yes.
But apparently, and again, purely speculation, I can't even remember if I heard a rumor about this or not. It's just, it happened. So
I think we've heard the same rumor.
I heard that the reason Wingless weren't invited back for Chariots of Thunder was because we put on better racing than what the sprint cars did.
Yeah. Now, that's not just the first place I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard it at other venues and stuff like that. I'd hate to think it's someone in the Wingless fraternity who's got their nose out of joint and makes up something like that.
Yeah, same.
But if it has a little bit of truth to it,
I'd say it did put on better racing.
It's all there, but it's all there. Like, yeah, sprint cars used to be amazing, but like I was talking to someone about this the other day, and we are talking about like when was the last time you happily paid to watch a sprint car race? And I remember I used to pay for all the Knoxville Nationals and all the Kings Royals and all that sort of stuff, and even like the Chili Bowl. You paid all this money for, yet you could almost guarantee who was going to win. Like, it was just and
like nowadays, like I'm a big Kyle Larson guy. Now there's stories that Todd has met some really good people in the States and has befriended some really high up people.
Yep.
So after I know I've gotten a bit off topic here.
No, go for it. Shoot.
Can be a story. A lot of people don't believe me. So Todd and I actually went to the High Limit banquet party after their season finale last year at Lincoln Park.
Really?
Yeah. So Todd's obviously befriended the likes of Logan Seavey and Mitchell Moles and Clinton Boyles, who works on Chris Wyndham and Kerry Madsen's car. They said, "Hey, Logan messaged us, and we upstood Drake York for Applebee's to go to this." Anyways, but Logan messaged Todd and goes, "Hey, do you and your friend want to come to this bar? We're just, it's gonna be me, Mitchell, and a couple other guys." Yeah, no worries. So we met him across the road. Anyways, it was all right. We walked in. Tyler Corney's there. Rico's there. Cole's there. And mind you, Cole had to do the rookie orientation test at Indianapolis 2 days later.
Wow.
So Brad Sweet's there. They're all there.
Yep.
So, like, we played beer pong with them. We did all sorts of things. But, like, it's the fact that we walked into a bar in downtown Indy.
That's nuts.
And we're having drinks with Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet, and it's a pretty cool story. No one believes me. Everyone goes, "Oh, why didn't you take photos?" Would you take photos with Kyle Larson if you were having drinks with Kyle Larson?
You can't do that. You got to act cool. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You can't act like a fan. You got to act like hearing him talk about it. And hearing him talking about how a non-wing sprint car felt like 10, 11 years ago now is insane. Hearing him talk about how a car feels is insane and totally relatable.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
The way the guy, clearly natural talent. You see it. We all see it. But the way Kyle Larson speaks about how a race car feels, it's nuts. It is nuts, and it was the coolest fucking conversation I've ever been a part of.
Oh man, that's wicked. No, I hear, man. Like that's awesome. That's so cool. But you're right. I mean, just the way Todd is, he's just making so many networks over there. And he's one thing I do like about Todd as well is he's not afraid to like introduce people to you. Like so, it's
it's honestly like what I mentioned at the start about I've got to save as much money as I can up until June. That's
okay.
Part of it. Yeah,
I'm with you now. I'm with you.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. So we'll talk about how Wingless. I don't want to keep on. I mean, I love my shirts, making Wingless great again. It is great.
I got a Cummins shirt on. So.
Oh no, you got to get on the store and buy one of these shirts, man. Come on, support me. It gives me the beer money to go racing. No, but they make some. You go back and you look at some of these top-notch races we've had in Wingless, and man, hands down, like they're all over the place. Like sprint cars go nuts when they go 2 wide or 3 wide. Like 3 wide. Oh, dude, Wingless like 4, 5 sometimes. Like dude, I'm thinking you got that WoW series. I'll come back to your stats in a second, but like you got that WoW series, right?
Yeah.
Toowoomba. Oh yeah, you're gonna see 3-4 there. Eastern Creek, man, that thing's wide as. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
see.
I like. Sorry, I know I'm stopping you a bit.
No, go for it.
Honestly, I'm absolutely gutted that Parramatta got.
Oh,
So you remember that last? You'd remember because I remember. I'm pretty sure Tyson either won or he ran third to the Blinds. The
he ran
last race.
third. Yeah.
Yeah, Guy ran fourth.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Were you there that night?
Yep.
You kidding me?
So we decided we're like, all right, we're gonna go up to Eastern Creek, go have a run with Katie and Kayla, and go have a run before they officially close the joint down.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, we got lucky. I think one of the Iron brothers ended up upside down coming out too. I'd be like, oh no.
No, I'm gonna have to take your word on it. Yeah.
But like I lost, so my front end was falling apart the whole feature race. But I'm like, I want to finish here. Like the car's fast, we can keep up with these guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, but just I'm that gutted that joint got teared down. That was. I don't even think it's been torn down.
No, it's gone. It's gone. Like
it is.
Yeah, I remember. So this is completely off topic too, but
No.
I used to go play ice hockey at a rink at Canterbury, so I used to have to drive past it.
Yeah.
And talk about you're getting old. You're getting old when you drive past something. When as a kid, I used to remember being in the backseat of my parents' car, and it would drive past there on the freeway because it used to be the speedway by the freeway, right? Yeah. And no shit, you would have people even sitting on the fucking Armco of the freeway watching over the fence to watch the racing. And I used to say to Dad, like, what are these people doing? And my dad used to be, they're bums. They're not paying for their seats and all this sort of stuff.
I'm like, that's ever since I can't even remember what year it was, but it might have been 06. I started prep in 2007. 2006, maybe 2006. You can correct me if I'm wrong. 2006, World of Outlaws Down Under.
Yep.
So, I talked to a lot of people like, oh, you're gonna go to a World of Outlaws show while you're in the States? Like they asked me last year, asked me this year. It's not the reason I went this year. Like as you probably gathered. But I'm like, no, I've already watched the World of Outlaws race. I've already watched the World of Outlaws sprint car race. Oh, where? I'm like, I went to 06 World of Outlaws Down Under because it just so happened. The Shell fuel refinery is around the corner from the track. And back in the day, Dad had, you had to do it was all tanker work.
Yep.
But he ended up getting a load to the Shell fuel refinery. And we left the truck and trailer in the fuel refinery, walked to the track. I think Dad said it's the most I've ever paid to get in a speedway. It's like for one night.
Yeah.
It was like $90 for grandstand.
Holy, really?
Seat. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Now I might be wrong, but I know I found it years ago. The actual Ticketmaster ticket.
Yeah.
Oh damn, Mildura just got cancelled. Mildura cancelled.
I heard. Yeah, I thought I read that earlier. Yeah.
Anyways, that's all right. But yeah, like it was like $90 for a grandstand seat.
Yep.
Now I tried finding I found the Ticketmaster ticket from it. I was gonna like laminate it and make it
get a photo of that and put up on Facey.
I can't even find it now.
Oh, what are you doing, Chris?
I found it I probably found it 7 or 8 years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Keep in mind, you see my walls, behind me. There's models models everywhere.
Yep.
It's basically I'm gonna struggle to get some girls in here if I ever do. Put it that way.
Oh jeez! Oh man, there's so many places I go with that comment. I'm not going to go anywhere.
Hey! No. I'll take the piss out of myself every day.
No, you're good. You're good.
I know Todd would absolutely Todd will jump at it after he watches this. Anyways, that's all right. But it's basically a child. It's started not to be a child's room in the last year and a half.
Yep.
But I've thrown that much shit out that I've probably thrown the ticket out.
Oh man. I mean, just by you saying that Shell refinery. So I grew up watching that flame, and then later on in life, I went and worked there for a bit. But I remember going past there to go to hockey. So when did we go? So that race was the start of 2020, wasn't it?
So
It would have been like February, March 2020.
I think it was Feb because
Feb.
I was doing. It might have been the last weekend of Feb because a week later, like directly a week later,
March was
they
COVID.
announced
Yeah.
the 500 crowd cap
Yep.
and stuff. And we're like, oh, okay, so we can still run Alexandra this weekend because it doesn't include like the pit area.
Mm.
Well, it turns out obviously everything wasn't straightforward, so no one wanted to do anything without,
Yep.
they didn't want to get it wrong because it would have been,
Well, I remember
it would have been into a speedway or whatever.
I remember driving past there in 2020, 2021, even 2022, and the track was there still. Yeah. Everything was there. Like, you started getting graffiti on the side of the fences and stuff like that. I think they took out toilet blocks on the bar. They took out some other stuff. The track was still there. Weeds were coming through, and then there was like stories you're reading in the paper about like the whole metro has now changed and the budget.
Well, that's what I was like hearing that, like, okay, there's a chance that Valvoline could actually reopen.
Nah, they took it from us, and then what we got now is.
Honestly, we went like nothing against Kelly's because John Kelly can get a race meeting. There was some race meetings at Archfield that he got through pretty damn quick, and it put on some pretty good racings. Nothing against Kelly's at all.
Yep.
But like that facility, like we walked into it. I ran Keaty's car in the first season. Eastern Creek was open.
Yep.
I walked into the toilets. I'm like, this joint's immaculate.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Wait, but which toilets? We're not the one in the pits.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you can play like tennis in there. We can play football.
Oh yeah.
Like, so you've got what is it like? Two cubicles, and like 3 urinals or 4 urinals, and then in the middle we've got nothing. But we've got some showers over here. I'm thinking, what the?
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much room doing nothing, and then like I'm like, there's 2 cubicles, and we're meant to be international. So anyway, yeah, it looked great, but I'm like, but look, to me the Kellys. A lot of people were a bit hesitant with the Kellys with what they've done in the past, right?
Like we all have our thoughts about the Kellys. I'm not going to say anything.
But I thought, hands down, every night we went there, they tried to make that track racy.
Yeah.
They succeeded. All right, there was some bumps and stuff and ruts, and it was outside of their control. But
that is what it is,
mate. I look back and I think, man, that's fantastic. Now we've had a change in the ownership, and I'm not trying to kick anyone in the teeth here. But one of the big things that's sort of scaring me a little bit is, and we've spoken about tyres. Everyone knows our situation on tyres.
Yeah.
Well, I pulled up. He probably won't like me saying this. Marcus Dumsey lives around the corner from me.
Yeah, and I've heard on. I think you mentioned it in Gary's. On Gary or Troy's podcast.
I like stirring up Marcus. I like having a chat. They're good kids. But I caught him the other day at the cafe. He was walking past me, giving me a look, and I sort of said to him, like, what are we going to do? And he said, well, it comes down to sort of 3 things. Like, it's track's one thing. Your car's set up and obviously what tyre you're using. So I'm not going to throw the tyre situation at them purely because at the moment that track, like, we had practice there the other day and there was a kid on a wingless who was throwing like 4 tyres at it.
Yeah.
The guys were throwing 6 tyres at a sprint car. Like, it's just eating tyres. So I'm not sure. It's going to be a great track for when we go WOW racing. Hopefully we don't have a drought in Sydney, even though we've got a reservoir next door to it. I'm hoping maybe some water goes there. I'm going to get in trouble saying this, but I'm hoping when WOW series goes. But you've raced there, so obviously we're going to see some good things out of you.
Like, well, the night I raced there, it was so. You probably remember Mark Blyton did 71 laps track packing.
Oh, was that when he wheel packed?
Yep.
I don't think anyone has beaten him wheel packing, eh?
No, because Keaty, I obviously ran Keaty's car.
Yeah.
Like, okay, because Keaty been asking me to drive for ages. I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll come up. Just, get an idea of the new track, and we'll see if we actually want to come up here.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all right. We went up there. I won a heat race, but like the first heat, the car dropped a cylinder. It dropped a cylinder in the track packing, in the wheel packing.
Yep.
I had Scotty yelling at me over the one way because like in hot laps because I wasn't running on the right part of the track. I'm like, oh, if it's green, I can run wherever I like. That was my whole
Fair call,
idea,
fair call.
you
Yeah,
know. I'm not gonna run through like shit.
yeah, especially when it's
um,
hot lapping. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, like that night was, I got an idea of the joint, and it was, I'm like, okay, you know, it's not great. It's they've got a lot to live up to. Like,
oh, if you go for Paramount, like, it's funny how they tried to. This is me going so far off here.
yeah,
It's
of
like
course,
they tried to throw this thing down our throat at this, at the time, $70 million state
yeah.
of the art facility. Has anyone not been to Eldora? Has anyone not, like?
I can tell you, I went there last Wednesday.
Okay, like, look at those stands, right? Look at the bleachers then, and look at
Yep.
what, like, we're not after that. That's not us.
No,
We just want a place that's got like Parramatta, Valvoline Raceway, Sydney Speedway. It had character. You had so many good things there. If you were a young family, if you were a young kid, there was
yeah,
so many things for you to do to keep yourself entertained. The grandstands. Now I know, unfortunately, like when Kelly's took over, they did not have a say in the construction of it
no,
whatsoever.
no.
Likewise,
They got given this is what you're getting,
yep.
and that's how it is. If you
And
don't like it, you don't like it.
and Gary Wilmington, he's doing some great things. I don't know if I'm allowed. Well, it's my show. I can say what I want, but I guess they come and kick my ass. But Gary Wilmington and Troy Boldy deal. They sort of saw some things that happened and maybe thought, all right, let's change this, change that. So now the gates have been changed around. So where you normally would drive out on the track, you now swapped them.
Okay.
So your old out grid's now your in grid, and in grid's now your out grid. They've changed some other things around, but like at the end of the day, it's still what it is. You still go there and you walk through the gates and you think, man, like, this is great. I'm home. Like,
Yeah.
But man, we're almost there. There's got to be something going on behind the scenes, and I'm going to get shot for this because I still remember turning on radios when you hop in cars and that sort of stuff, and you'd see, Parramatta, Speedway by the freeway, or USC, or Valvoline Raceway, all this stuff on. I don't see none of that no more. Maybe I'm not a marketing person. Maybe I need to get like William Caruso on here to talk to me about marketing because the doctor. But maybe radio advertising is not it no more. I don't know, but it feels like we've lost it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sure someone's going to correct me, and I love the when you guys jump in the inbox there and tell me what you thought. But that's cool. But anyway, sorry for going off topic with you there, but yeah, you're right, Parramatta, man. So you were there that final night, because that final night.
I'm so glad I was. I actually, if I'd grabbed it, I'd be walking into another room, so I won't. But so you remember how they were asking, they were like the crash crew or whatever, or they were going, oh, you can come and get a piece of,
dirt,
get a piece of the history.
Yeah,
I've got a Tupperware container in the office where my sim sits. I messaged the page. I didn't get a reply back. Actually, I got a reply back. No, I messaged the page. I said, hey, I'll pay for the postage and stuff. Here's my address.
Yeah.
I didn't ever got a reply back. Probably 3 weeks later, I got a package in the mail. It was a Tupperware container.
Really?
Clay. Yep.
Can you name who sent it?
I don't know who sent it.
Oh man, hats off to whoever that was.
Yep.
Can I say one thing? I want to say that I'm very disappointed in is the fact that Valvoline Raceway's Facebook page, right? Now, Facebook page is just something that you put it up, you don't have to touch it. It lives forever. Like we've got family, friends, we've got people we know pass away, and it's awesome to go to their Facebook page to reminisce about stuff, right?
Yeah.
Someone took down their Facebook page. And when they took that down, and a lot of people don't realize this, but when you took that down, you took down a time capsule from 2020, and I think I remember going back as like 2009, sort of 08 sort of deal. So much history, so many great photos, so many moments gone. And I think they've still got a Instagram page, that's still up. But dude, like, that's. I don't know whoever did that. I inquired about it through a friend of mine, and I think I even asked Wade about that. I said, look, can you make sure it doesn't go? And then sort of went. I thought, but that's awesome. You were there that night because I remember that night. Yeah,
We made sure.
that's awesome. And so sorry, you were in your car? Or you were
Yeah,
in
I was in my car.
your car that night? Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Wow.
so you probably see the car on my Facebook if you've had a look.
Yeah.
But it's not the same looking. Like it's the exact same car, just different panel kit, different scheme.
Yeah.
That's it.
Same car. Nice.
Yeah.
No, good.
But yeah, we made sure we're up there for that night. I was like after experiencing like we come for the so we ran. Oh, I obviously got to watch the Word of Outlaws there.
Yep.
Sitting a heap of cars that were behind velvet red ropes, from what I remember. Back in the day, like that's going back a long time.
Would that have been like in that? What I can't remember what they call. I called it Gasoline Alley only because most racetracks when you walk in the front thing and they got a little. Was that in that foyer when you first walked into the speedway? They had the cars on display there.
I think this was after the race meeting.
Right, so in the pit area.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay. Shit. Sorry, that would have been like the year they had the white tents there. Yeah.
I vaguely remember getting picked up by some yank. I don't know who it was. Put in a car, but it was It was what they would have had to have been.
Yeah, I think that's the one they sent over containers and they just put up these big marquees and that's what they were working under. Wow.
That's that, but that's probably as far as my memory serves me. Like as far as what I can.
How old were you then?
I wasn't even in prep, so I was like 4. 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
I used to play like the old NASCAR games in the back of Dad's sleeper on the PS2.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Set up with the inverter and stuff.
Yeah, NASCAR 06, Total Team Control, that sort of stuff. Yeah,
I think he had a wheel bearing go on one of his trailers going up there. I was just in the bunk playing NASCAR.
Your dad's there trying to put out a fire and you don't give a shit. You just want to keep playing. Wow. Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, that's so good to hear that you experienced some of that stuff.
Like when Kyle come out to run the 1K or the rocket car, like got to come up for that. Like, I got to experience a lot at that joint. So like I got a lot of memories from Parramatta.
I don't know if you know this, and I don't know if Tyson's ever going to come on one of these shows to tell his story, but he got invited to crew on that car.
Now I think I remember. Yeah, I think I remember him.
Yeah,
I think I remember seeing it.
Yeah, and we had the legend car, which he had the Jimmy Johnson legend car.
Yep.
And you're talking about can't take photos and shit when you're drinking with the elite. Yeah. I'm not allowed to tell the story about how I had a beer with Casey Kane while he was sitting in my legend car that looked like Jimmy Johnson sort of doing stuff. I'm not allowed to say that, so that never happened. But yeah, so Tyson was, I mean, geez, I just, like, you spoke before about 10-year-old kids being the futures of the sport. Yeah. I just hope whatever happens, likewise with you guys down there with Warrnambool or whether you're Simpson, whatever it is, us here with Sydney, Toowoomba, I hope we get the opportunity to get these big guys back here again, and then these kids to have these, memories with these superstars.
100%. Because while I'm working, I just, have my earmuffs on, and like I got podcasts playing in my ears, and like I listen to a lot of NASCAR podcasts.
Yeah.
Like the Stacking Pennies podcast with Corey LaJoy.
Yep.
Like the one that got posted today, they've got Kyle Larson on, and it's was it this one or it might have been Door Bumper Clear. But anyways, there was one Kyle was on it, and they're talking about he's signing all these orders. It was something to do with Indy 500.
Yep.
Anyways, it might have been Stacking Pennies, but might have been, I can't remember. Anyways, that's all right, whatever. But they're talking about Kyle's I've had to go from some sprint car races, and I've never he never turns a fan away. But there's been times where he's had to go, but otherwise, say if you're in that line at 1 a.m. after a sprint car meeting, he will stay till the last kid's gone just to make that memory with a kid.
Yep.
Just so that kid has a memory with Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
And that's I remember you remember the sick lid helmets?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, they come out for the classic. There was a
Yep.
whole thing with Max Dumsney and stuff. He would not sign it.
No?
Yeah. So apparently, because there was a copyright thing, there's some copyright of his number
Okay.
and his signature that, I think they had it on the helmet that he didn't allow. He didn't, like, obviously with the name Max Dumsney, like, there's going to be a lot of that. But I walked up to him. I said, "Hey, can you sign this?" And he kind of looked at me and goes, "Yeah, okay." And then I heard after about there was a whole. I think he had some lawsuit with cichlids or something. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
right,
Don't
okay.
hold me to it. But it's just stuff like that. Like, I got Randy Hannigan to try and sign it, and Randy almost told me to F off.
Really?
Yeah. Just because, he didn't want to, and I get it. Back then, I probably got a little bit, but it wasn't they're Americans. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's how it was. But
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, you don't go up to somebody during a race meeting. You leave them alone, let them do their job, and then go see them after.
Yeah, I do recall seeing that at Parramatta when the Americans came out, that you'd get some fans just almost straight away just going through there. Or when they're trying to go to driver's briefing or come back from driver's briefing, it's just not the right time. But you know what? It would be great if Wingless could get to that stage where we've got the kids coming through the pits or something like that. Actually, we had that at Lismore. At Lismore, you would have been asked for an autograph at Lismore a few times.
I think.
Oh, here we go. Let's find out if he was.
Some kid with a helmet asked me for a signature, and I might have given a couple of my stickers away because I just keep in my gear.
You didn't get a kid with a checkered flag?
Oh.
I think there was 2 or 3 kids.
I may have
2 or 3 kids that came around and they came up. I think one of them come up to me, and I'm like, "Mate, I can't fit in the seat." And anyway, Tyson signed the things and walked off. And I remember saying to the lady, I said, that's really cool. What's it for? And she sort of told me how this kid loves the sport and can't wait till he grows up. And I think he was 10 or 11. And I thought, man,
cool.
Just keep dreaming, dude. You'll get there.
100%.
That's awesome.
That's, if I see, put it this way, and I've done, I won't. It's funny because probably my sister and my mum and stuff would probably go, he'd go away into the back of the trailer, he'd just ignore him. But no, if I see a kid and they're around the car or they want a sticker, I try and put on the nicest possible face, no matter the night I've had, and I will go hand out a sticker and say hello and stuff, because it's like I said before, the future of the sport.
Yep.
That's them. Yep. Whether they're a fan or not, or a fan, or they race something and just they're just there.
Yeah.
They're giving that experience. You gotta, again, future of the sport.
Yeah.
You gotta
just give him time. Give him a couple of seconds. How you doing, bud? So what do you race? Go-kart's awesome.
Literally, it's a couple of seconds.
All right, so everyone, whoever sees Kicker at a track now, I want you to go up to him and ask him for a sticker and ask him for an autograph, and he's got to be nice about it.
100%.
Oh, there we go. He's going to be nice. All right, good. I can't wait to get a sticker off you.
As my old man has said, you never know who's walking through the pits.
Man, I don't know.
If you need to have 5 minutes to yourself,
yep.
Go behind the trailer where you won't be seen.
Yep.
Don't have a hissy fit.
Yep.
I do admit, Archfield. I'm going back to Archfield. Archfield, this podcast has brought up a lot of Archfield bad memories.
Yeah.
I hate the joint. I hated the joint. Anyways, I had the wrong attitude going into it. So, but that's what it is. But me and Dad had a full on, absolutely, blue. I think if we come back for night 2, I wasn't going to have any help. It would have just been me.
Yeah, you by yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I dug me hole myself, and that's, we spoke the next day about it, and all that.
It's what happens.
But I kind of, sometimes I forget, but it's just, my old man's been the one who's always told me, you never know who's walking through the pits, who's going to walk past you and go, he actually drives pretty good. I might, I need to do a tax write-off. Oh, here you go. Yep. He's $5,000.
And you know what's amazing, Chris, is that actually happens.
Yep.
That actually happens.
Yep.
So it's 100% true, and everyone needs to be careful what they do, say, act. As much as you don't think the spotlight's on you, all you need is a set of eyes. And phones these days, man, jeez.
Well, it's like the social, like, as if like you told me before we started this, the social media policy. Don't say anything. You don't say anything bad about anyone. Don't talk shit. Pretty much.
Yep.
Um,
That's all I'm good at doing, Chris, is talking shit. You mean don't talk
there's
down
two
about
types
people?
of talking
Yeah.
shit. There's talking shit about somebody, and then there's just
Yeah.
talking shit about.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
No, like you just you don't say. You just don't say anything that you won't.
No, you got to own it. You got to own it.
100%. You can't just say something and then 10 minutes later go, oh no, I didn't mean that.
No,
you gotta
own it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about let's finish this off and talk about your results. So your 23-24 Victorian title.
Yeah, Portland.
Yes.
So this year.
Yeah.
So first heat. So okay. We did wheel packing and stuff.
Yep.
I didn't realise the first heat was actually meant to stay out on the track. So I come back into the pits, jumped out of the car, started doing tear-offs. And then Dad goes, the first heat's still out there. I said, get fucked. Are you joking? I said, he goes, no. Oh, fuck. So I quickly jumped back in the car. We've got put fuel on it.
Oh.
So obviously, the way these cars act, you're getting you're gonna have methanol slushing around in a tank for 10 laps or whatever it was. Anyways, the car kept dying on me coming out of 4. Could not work out for the life of me why. Come back in the pits, they got the stick, put it in the tank. Like, we still ran third in the heat, just.
Yeah.
Like, we got lucky. Dip the stick in the tank when we come back in. He goes, fuck it, it's got no fucking fuel. Like, fuck, that was close. We didn't have and I chucked the bleeders in. Like, I probably the second or first night I actually ran bleeders.
Yep.
And they're not like, I've got me stuff good set of Swindells now, but I only got them pretty much. I was going to buy them for this year anyways, but I got them because the Fitzers asked me to, we want another set of digital bleeders. Like, I was going to get them. But anyways, I'm getting off topic too much. Let's keep talking. That's all right, whatever. So we had a couple of average heats. Like, the heats were average, still good enough to put us out of 6 for the feature.
Yeah, right.
And Mitchell Sires, who is number 4 composites down here in Victoria, like, very good friend of Todd and I's. I get him to come crew chief for me quite a bit. I'm probably gonna have him for SummerSlam.
Okay.
A lot of my recent success I owe to him a little bit because he's just the way he can set up a car for me is very. He doesn't tell me what he does till the end of the night, which is great. Like, we're driving, I'm taking him back to his place, and he's just rattling off. I did this in heat 1, did this in heat 2. We started off like this. Okay. I just write it down in my notes. It goes in my folder.
Nice.
But yeah, I just, he's told me a couple of little things like, you can keep doing this and this and this, and you'll be right. Well, I may as well take a swing here for the feature. I took a massive swing at it, and the thing was ripping. Like, I don't know if it was like 40 laps, I might have had something for Broomy, and I don't think I had anything for Jack McCarthy, who was leading it he was leading it before his front end ended up collapsing. But we started 6, and I was ripping. Like, the car was great. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yep.
Anyways, like, past Blake, past Brad Warren, past some really good cars. And we were closing on him. Broomy kept making stupid mistakes with like 5 laps to go. So I was closing in on him. Still, it wasn't enough, and it wasn't going to be enough. But, we ran second again another year, and
at least you made the consistency of that. Like, that's been pretty good.
yeah, so like I think I've ran 4 Victorian titles and I've placed in 3 of them. So
Yeah, that's a good statistic.
yeah, so
Then after that, what did you get? The Merritt Family Memorial.
yeah,
Where
so
was that at?
Simpson.
Simpson. Okay. Yep.
That so basically, Simpson have their 2 little. So we have the Super Series here in Victoria.
Yep.
So back in the day, it was called the Super 6 Series. Now it's just like it's still 6 rounds, but it's lost a lot of. Used to be like the Par Motorsports Super 6 Series or something. Like there
Yep.
used to be a lot of. It used to be big. It still is, but it's lost it a little bit. Like SummerSlam's kind of taken its place, even though it's only over a few nights. It's like it's not a big series, but yeah. Anyways, Simpson, I like to say, have their own little crown jewel races.
Yep. Yep.
Being the Front Row Challenge, and it used to be called the Peter Merritt Memorial. Then they've changed it to the Merritt Family Memorial. So yeah, just again we had I had a couple of really good heats and just started off good from the feature and yeah, we started. I think Wheelie was off pole. I put it out at 2. First lap, I just drove around the outside of Wheelie, and I just kept it up. I just kept it up top and sent it.
Yep.
And we like Streeties had raced on the same track, so the track was like, you know how they get, like it's just rough as guts.
Yep.
But I just put the right rear out, and because it was juiced up still, I just put the right rear out and just kept sending it on the top. I'm pretty sure I'm like just looking at GoPro footage and watching Clay per view. I'm probably the only car entering. Like I did not lift turn 1 and 2. Like
Really?
yeah, the thing was biking up out of 2. I just
Held in
stayed
there.
in it.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, we won that by I don't know. It was like a 3.5 second win. Mick Rigby
Yep.
left up the front in the Front Row Challenge a couple of years or a few years ago now. He challenged me for the win like midway through the feature, and just I found some more momentum and just drove away from him again and put some lap cars between us, and yeah. But that's like another cool one just to add my name to another, like I said, crown jewel race.
Yep. Yep.
Pretty much. So
Yeah. I think one thing I do like about Victorian Wingless is you guys do have a lot of blue ribbon events.
yeah,
South Australia, I think they do as well. But Queensland, one or two. But New South Wales, we've lost a lot of ours.
Yeah.
But I love blue ribbon events, and it's good to see you guys have got them. And it's when you guys do that, all the competitors are just so good.
oh yeah,
Like as much as you're making it sound like an easy night, it still could have gone either way. Like
oh yeah, 100%. Like anything can happen in the space of you're running your heats. Yeah, you've put it up the front for a feature. What can happen on the first 2 laps of that feature?
yeah, that's right.
You never know.
No. We moved then to the Australian title at Lismore. Now,
Yeah.
this this for me, I thought was going to be pretty cool to witness firsthand with my own eyes. Was to see both yourself and Todd under the LFA banner. With Ebony, she was driving the
She was driving her car. Yeah.
her car, which is sort of a kind of a team car, I guess.
It was still a joint effort.
Yeah, satellite team car. How like so? Obviously, you and like the chemistry between yourself and LFA and yourself and Todd Hobson it's obviously very, very strong. Like you've already noticed that you guys have known each other for many years.
Yeah.
Leading up to that event, like what were your thoughts going into it? Because I don't think we've seen too many teams like that. Like we've seen the Storer boys, obviously they were brothers, but I don't think we've seen too many teams in a sense like that.
So, like with Todd, Todd's my best mate by a long shot, as you've probably already picked up. And if you watch any of Wade's videos from like interviews from the Aussie title, you'd see that. Like, more like brothers than anything else.
Yep.
And we give each other as much shit as it's I actually, so Gary come to me with the idea, and I just got let go from my job where I was working was because they went belly up, and
Yep.
it happens. But so I'd had basically that week off anyway. So I was with Todd when Gary sent me the message. Would you be interested? Are you still going to the Aussie title? I was going to go help Ebony, and I told her she was paying for my flights and everything. Anyways, but I said to Ebony, there could be a chance that I race a car up there. Dad and I haven't made a decision, money wise as well. Like, that was a big thing too. But I didn't think going up in my own car would have as I thought, we had a really consistent season, and I might have had a shot, but I didn't think I'd have a I didn't think I'd have as good as a chance as I didn't think I'd be as confident from like hot laps onwards as I would be in my car as I would be running for the Fitzes.
Yep.
Just because you take the pressure off of or you take the pressure off of setting up your own car. Making the bands. I tell Gary, just give me something. Give me something that you think will work, and I'll try it.
Yep.
I drive the car I adapt to it. That's what we have to do as a driver. Mm-hmm. You adapt to whatever you're given. Anyways, but when I saw the message from Gary come through, I actually asked Todd, do you want me to? I said, what do you want me to do? Would you be all right if I run it, or would you like to run a second car, or what do you want me to do? Yeah, right. I don't want to take anything away from you.
Yeah.
And he didn't care. I think he wanted to defend it, obviously, as you do, but he's won it. He's, as you now see, he's said he's trying to set himself up abroad. So whether it's for the next 18 months or for the next 5 years, he could be over there for however long. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't even think he knows at this point in time.
No.
He don't know what he's doing week to week. I'll tell you that now. Anyways, but I made sure it was all clear with him, and then Gary said, here's the idea. I'll get some sponsors. The only way this is going to happen is with sponsors. I said, okay. I said, do you want me to do anything? And he said, no. Yes, I'll see if I can muster something up. Said, okay, cool. So I was helping Todd on the dirt mod. Anyways, that's maybe I left my phone in the car. 3 hours later, I got another message from Gary. Legend, Tristo's a legend. So Tristo from Neuropower. You would have seen the Neuropower on the side of both cars. Tristo basically said, "Yep, I'll come on board and get the other car up there." So he goes, "Tristo's a fucking legend. You're racing the Aussie title." I said, "Okay, cool. Let's if I was going to do it, I wanted to be in a good car.
Oh,
especially at a track I've never been to.
Yeah, well, that's what you're talking about.
Darwin,
yeah.
I hopped in a good car and was good from the outset.
Yep.
So yeah, that pretty much come about that way, and it was, and then I think I actually ran the 2 car, the 6, the 2, whatever. That's what that car is. Or was. I think Ryle, because it got put up for sale after the Aussie title. So Ryle and Furler from South Australia, I believe, has bought it. So, anyways, that's all right. But I've lost my train of thought a little bit.
No, you're right. So going into the Lismore, so you're there side by side with your best mate.
Yeah.
How did that title fare out for you? I mean,
so I missed the prelim AMA night 1 for one reason, and it's because I lost 2 spots in my first heat because I grabbed too much of the inside berm.
Oh, really?
Egan and Fowler passed me in the last corner of the last lap of the first heat race.
Jeez.
And that's all I put down to missing the night prelim night A, mate.
That's how close it was. Yep. Okay.
And like because Gary, he put the same. Yeah, and the good thing about the Fitzes as well, they gave Todd and I the exact same opportunity to do the exact same job.
Yep.
It wasn't like my car got,
No, I saw that first.
It wasn't like it was
your second car or you got bits. It was
or even a gimmick. As much as Todd said, it's the number 2 for a reason.
Yeah, but
it still beat the number 1 in the AMA.
Yes.
But I keep reminding him of that. He doesn't care anymore. But
I remember walking past that because we were sort of pitted up just up from you guys on the same row, and I remember walking past there several times, and I'd even see you touching like Ebony's car or on Todd's. Like everyone was working on everyone, which 100%. I thought was fantastic. So there was no I didn't think there was any team orders or preference at all.
No, the thing I go to with that, like Gary walked up to Todd, but both Todd and I, like Gav was mainly on my car, but Gary walked up to both Todd and I and goes, "What do you want to do for the first heat?" Because obviously it started chewing up tyres in hot laps or practice.
Yep.
Anyways, he goes, "You can run these tyres, we'll buff them, we'll groove them up again, or we'll chuck a couple of freshies on." Anyways, I said, Todd was obviously going to take the fresh tyre, best chance to defend it is to be as good as you can every time you hit the track. Be as good as you can be every time you hit the track.
Yep.
Anyways, I said to Gary, I'm like, look, thinking about it, we have one chance at probably going. This is our front start essentially in a heat because we're out of 3. I said every other time we're in the middle or down the back. I said this is our best opportunity to score as many points as possible.
Yep.
Anyways, I stuffed that up for us. That is what it is. But the Fitzes gave Todd and I the exact same opportunity to go do the exact same job. That's the thing I like. There was no transparency. There was nothing different. We got given the exact same opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I think that showed, like, especially in the feature, like you guys both came from at the back.
Yeah.
And you guys both were driving down together, and like really the cars were almost identical. Like, so I didn't see it from looking in. I thought you guys definitely put on an awesome show towards the end of that race. Like, it was really hard because we're trying to watch the front because Jolly was just gone, and Mock was catching him, and then you had Miller in there as well, and Wheel and that sort of stuff. And it was a really good battle going on there. I'm also watching Tyson where he's going. Unfortunately, we just could not get a set, and we're sort of going backwards. Then all of a sudden, I'm looking at these 2 LFA cars just sort of coming for him, and I'm thinking, oh, geez, here we go. It's on.
We hit him at the same time, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Poor kid got absolutely, gang smashed by both LFA cars. But no, I thought it was good in the end. The way the whole LF, like both you guys rebound. Like Todd came back from his rollover. You came back from your, from what you experienced on the first night.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. By the way, how many hats did you win that night?
It's hard to say now. Hang on. You probably see it on the shelf there.
I can see it. That was my favourite hat. I remember when I was talking to Troy, talking to Todd about his hat, and then I seen you walk over with it, and I thought, oh man, I like that one too. And
because Todd goes before last night because he got like 2 or 3 hats or whatever it was, and he's a wide open ambassador.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, give us a hat. He goes, all right, you can have that. Anyways, no go, win me last seat. I said, I don't want your hat anymore.
I actually heard that. He told me about that one. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was awesome. I thought that was a great promotional tool that they used for those hats. Tell me something. One thing you did end up getting at the Australian title at Lismore there was a hard charger.
Yeah, or the joint hard charger, as they wanted to call it. But no, I finished in front of Todd. So
no, you take it. Yeah, you take it. Todd doesn't count. Yeah,
No.
so I mean
So,
that's a pretty cool thing to take. Like,
yeah, and like considering I've ran 3 Australian titles now,
yep,
Warrnambool was one to forget. I was still getting, I was still fine. I'd done okay in wingless, but I was still trying to find my feet. Um, and then Archfield, I had high hopes, and it just didn't happen. And then to go to the weekend, I thought the weekend started off average at Lismore.
mm-hmm.
I was comfortable. I like it. It was only the second night I'd driven that car.
Yeah, right, okay,
I'd ran at Avalon probably a month or 2 months prior. And like we ran second, but like we had issues all night with the car.
yep,
And so I got an idea of I got an idea of what it was like, but I never got I was comfortable, but I wasn't 100%. I feel at home in it,
yeah,
like I do in the DRC or whatever, or even in my own car. Like I've worked some stuff out in the last 18 months, and I've gotten happy. But I put that I put that as one of my top, just as a achievement, a career highlight, essentially.
yeah.
Because it's one
Well,
of
I
them
mean,
cool things.
yeah, I mean, you came from not making the prelim on night one
To
to
passing some of the best cars in the country
yeah.
to
What
finish
you
top 10
finished?
in Australia.
Yeah, top 10, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, man! Like that was an excellent job. Well
Yeah.
done. Like that was great, and you beat the reigning champ, which is good.
Yeah, that's always good to rub it in his face.
Yeah,
Just
no,
give him
I
a
I
kick.
thought that's awesome to have. Yeah. So, talking about WoW Series, you're going to be on the WoW Series this year. You're going to be driving
Yep.
the V2
Yep.
for LFA. Man, I can't wait to see those boys hit the road. So
I'm keen.
we've
I am
spoken
keen.
about Toowoomba, Eastern Creek. We go to Simpson, your backyard.
Yep.
I'm going to take it. Mount Gambier, you're pretty good at too.
Uh I've been honestly, I haven't been. I've got a. I'm constantly fighting with Mount Gambier.
Really?
Not like fighting with committee. Me, just with the track, trying to be one
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
the,
That's your
trying
kryptonite.
to just
Okay,
find that zone.
nice.
I've junked it. No, I haven't junked it, but actually, kind of have junked it. I just pretty much destroyed the 360 there. It's probably
Jeez,
it's probably half the deal why that deal ended. So
not good. But
part
yeah,
on me, but we kind of walked away from.
yeah.
We kind of walked away. I'm straying away from wingless here. Sorry.
No, you're good, man.
But and then first night, I think the first time I ran there, I can't even remember. I think first time I ran there, I just had a horrible night. It
Yeah.
was just, I ended up looping it like with a lap to go on the feature or something. I can't remember. I was like battling for 14th or something. I was
Oh wow.
horrible. Then like we had SummerSlam. I did okay. Like the first SummerSlam, I did all right. And then feature time, I started 6th, rolling around all right. And then there was like a 5-car pile up in front of me, and 3 cars ended up on their lid, and I just ended up driving into it pretty much.
Oh no. Yeah.
I didn't know where to go. Then SummerSlam. Oh, was that SummerSlam with Todd? Yeah, that was the SummerSlam. So Todd, I think, Todd wasn't racing it one year.
Okay.
So I said to Todd, "Come help me for the week." And so
Yep.
he come help me for the 3 nights. So he come help me. That was fine, and I learned some stuff because, as you know, Todd's knowledgeable.
Pretty smart
Todd's
cookie.
knowledge in,
Yeah.
like setting up a race car is pretty good.
Yep.
He's also part of the reason I half did well at Portland, because he come with me to the prelude to the title.
Mm-hmm.
We were the only car running the top. Everyone else was putting around on the bottom.
Yeah. Right.
And I still didn't run the top at the Vic title, but it is what it is. Back to Mount Gambier, anyways.
Yeah.
So SummerSlam, I go around in circles.
No, you're good, man.
SummerSlam this year, I probably skipped a year, but is what it is. SummerSlam this year started out of 3. Again, back to the bleeders.
Yep.
Just, my car went away pretty much from the get-go.
Yep.
We're a 5th place car both nights because there was only 2 nights this year because Warrnambool ended up raining out.
Yep.
Like, they cancelled it a night early. But we're a 5th place car. We were up there battling, but we were always a 5th place car at Mount Gambier. And then we're pretty sure my battery dropped a cell. And you know what they do when they do. You know how they.
It's game over.
You know what they do. They just start popping and farting and cracking the shits. Anyways, I shut her down, pulled off. It refired, drove it back to the pits fine, and then we're under the impression that's 2 years in a row pretty much.
Yep.
Not at Mount Gambier, but same happened at Simpson last year. We're out off pole for the feature. Probably would have gone on to win that feature.
Yep.
It was bang on. It was my sort of a racetrack. But I can't remember if it fried a terminal or the battery again dropped a cell.
Yep.
So just, probably I actually spoke to Dad about it when I got back from the States on Saturday morning. I'm like, we're changing batteries before we go run our car this year.
I mean, think about it. It's like $250 insurance right there. Bang, done. Yep, I'm with you.
So I've had one good night from so I didn't finish that. So maybe out of 4 times I've ran Mount Gambier, I'll finish once.
Yep.
Or finished good once.
Yep.
But DNF twice. Anyways. 5 times. No, DNF a few times. Anyways, I'll keep going. I'm carrying on too much.
This kid's awesome.
The Victoria SA Challenge that Mount Gambier was doing for the last couple of years. I know they rotate what the support is at the King's Challenge every now and then. One year it might be straighties, junior sedans, whatever. Last couple of years it's been wingless. Anyways, I said to Dad, I'm like, we're in Warrnambool. You go down to Warrnambool for the week. I normally go down from Wednesday of Classic Week.
Yep.
I said, I'll get the car ready. I'll have it ready in the trailer, ready to go. Just take it down there for me. Eh? Yeah, no worries. So, got it down to Warrnambool, because our friendship, I guess, with Matty Easton. We got to keep it we can keep it at Veely's. We could keep it at Veely's. Anyways, so I ran 4th. I started back in the pack. I keep forgetting that every time we race with sprint cars, it's always going to be a different track. It's not going to be the same as what we race on normally. So, I took a bad swing at it for the heat races. I'm like, okay, I kind of think I know what I'm going to do for the feature. Everyone was fighting for the bottom. I was the only car running the boards for the whole 25 laps of the feature, whatever it was. But I went from maybe, I don't know, I started 9th, went back to 14th.
Yep.
And then as soon as I found the top, I was passing cars left, right, and center. I just, 5 laps too late. I probably would have had a run at the win.
Yeah.
On the last lap, Dylan Seeley.
Yeah.
He was in the B main of the Aussie title.
Yeah, no, well, he's a cool guy, yeah. Mang, I call him. Mang.
There you go.
That thing's always on the chip, man. Always on the chip.
Yep.
Oh, God, yeah. Sorry, yep.
No, you're right. So the last lap, he was a straightaway ahead of me.
Yeah.
For 3rd. And I should have done this the 20 laps prior because I probably would have passed old mate that was leading it and just set sail into the sunset.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got at the start finish line. I was at his right rear.
Really?
Yeah. And the last lap of the race was a second quicker than the leader's best lap.
You kidding?
No. Just because I worked out it took me 20 laps. I worked out how to run the cushion, like a sprint car style cushion. Because I've ran one before, obviously.
Yeah.
I just worked out how to run the big, massive sprint car style cushion that was halfway up on the wall. Better than, and I worked out how to do it just so I could, make speed up there.
Nice.
But it was a second quicker.
Well, let's see what happens when the WoW series goes there, because I don't know. Well, who knows what support cards we're going to have? But all
Yeah,
right,
yeah, I'm tipping
see,
away with sprint cars, but
no, but
it'd
you're
be
being
nice.
quick there. That's good.
Yeah, so
What are your
we've had
thoughts?
car speed there. So
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Mildura?
I've ran there once. So I've ran a heap at the Sunraysia go-kart or
Yep.
the go-kart track, because that's where all powers was for the
Yep.
for us. Anyways, so I've ran the old configuration of the old before they did all this, like before they had done all these changes at Mildura.
Yep.
So Mildura used to be maybe I may be getting this wrong. I think it was 10 meters. The pylon was 10 meters up in the corners. Maybe
Okay.
they've widened it. They've reshaped it.
Yep.
Anyways, so I ran the 50 lapper there. Like,
Oh, nice.
Todd and I went up. I think TVG won it. I ran second. Todd ran second. I ran third. But we beat that was when the likes of Joel Chadwick and stuff was still racing as well. So I ran there once. I have a pretty good idea of how it normally plays out. Just hopefully we get up. Hopefully it gets up on the board. So that's
well. We've been there once before where it did do that.
Yeah.
And then when we went back for the South Australian title, it didn't do that. But either way, man, like, geez, like I've seen some of those fields like 2, 3, I think even 4 wide at the South Australian title. Like there was a lot of track for you to run on.
100%. Like I honestly, I think it's going to be a good thing. Like, you got your wider. It's not going to be as what Lismore was.
Yep.
And honestly, Lismore, like Mick and like I know you've mentioned it. Drake actually introduced me to Drake York. Introduced me to Mick and Kim at the Aussie Sprint Car title.
Yeah, right.
Because he dragged me down there to, like, and they were asking me, "Oh, you gonna come up for the Aussie title for the wingless?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we will yet.
Yep.
Anyways, sure enough, yeah, we did. But they need to be promoters of every Australian title ever.
Can I say, wouldn't it be cool? And I'm probably going to get shot saying this. If we could just take a bit of them, what they did at that venue for that Australian title, put into AWSR a little bit. Sorry, AWSR, don't shoot me too much. Just listen, and sort of use them like to be the promoters of our WoW series and our Australian titles for future reference. Where would we be?
I think this WoW series, I hope it's not like it. I hope it's not like that little free round in series between Toowoomba, Murray Bridge, and Sydney.
So I thought that was called the Super Series, but then you guys had your own Super Series, so I don't know what I'm talking about clearly. But I know the one you're talking about.
I really hope it's not like that. It's just I really hope it's not like just a one and done thing.
What do you mean by that?
So they did it for 1 year.
Oh, right. Pardon me. Okay, yes. Yeah. From my understanding, they're going to try and make it, and I've heard of people who, because I've sort of mentioned drivers in the past, they didn't get invites, or they did, or they didn't. Well, it turns out I don't know what I'm talking about, and that's fine. Some drivers did get invites, but had to. A couple of drivers had to, unfortunately, decline them based on they had a very important wedding to go to. So, but in saying that, they've said, look, come next year, if it's on, like, we want to be all over that. And then I've got people who never got a ticket, completely were unsure if they would fit the criteria.
Oh, I know a few people who have, it's like the way that, as well. It's not just like, you might be the guy who shows up to every race or as many races as you possibly can. And you're not shit. You're not that top 20-esque in Australia.
Yeah,
I guess, and that's not shit-canning anybody.
Nope.
But this whole idea, you want to bring the best racing to 5 of the best tracks in the country.
Yep.
You want I know you've said it on one of your previous podcasts. Can't remember who it was with, but an Australian title-esque every an Australian title-esque field every night.
Yeah.
Like you want that level of competition night in, night out with
Yep.
this series, and you want it to put on the exact same racing as what you see at Chariots,
Yeah.
or what you saw Daniel Evans and Blake do on the weekend.
Yep.
You know, like for the 4 laps or whatever Daniel did till something happened.
Mate, I'll tell you that kid. Wow, he put down a fast lap time. He was quick. Wow. No, you're right. You're 100% right. And there's people who perhaps didn't feel that they were good enough to put in an expression of interest, so they didn't.
Yeah.
But I think after the first year, there's going to be some teething problems. So this is no insult to anybody. Yeah. There's going to be teething problems from the AWSR or the WOW Series side. There's going to be teething problems from the car owners, from the driver's side, from whatever. We're going to learn. We're going to evolve. We're going to get better.
Right.
And if it can come on to be something that's near as good as what World Series was for sprint cars for wingless, I'm all over it. I did have some concerns at first when I saw the contract. I sort of read it out, and I thought, oh, hang on. But
I honestly I didn't even read the contract.
You just signed the line.
I got it. I sent it to Gary. I'm like, just to look it over, and then he sent I sent it back to him with my signed thing, and I let him do the rest.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, because obviously we got him while we're still over, and I think we got him like the second night I was in the States or something.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
So I looked at it.
Yeah, I think I was talking to you then too. We were texting. But like I looked at that and I thought, you know what? But then I sort of took off my head and I thought, man, if I was a kid and I got this in the email, how would I feel?
Yeah,
man, I'd be 7 foot tall and bulletproof, and I thought, man, like we got to do it. Whatever the case is, we've got to put aside the money to go do it. Well, that's one of the reasons why we went and bought that truck and trailer, was so Tyson could go do it. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm learning more about the people we're going to be on the road with. Me and Gary have been talking a fair bit. He probably regrets talking to me as much as he has, because I think I'll be pitting next to you guys a fair bit. But, dude, it's good. And then out of all this, you got to throw in the Australian title in there. Then you got to come back a week later to fight for the last round of the WOW Series.
With what I'm like, I think so. Like, I haven't even spoken to Gary about exactly what, because obviously I know you spoke to him, and I don't even know if he knows what exactly we're doing this year as far as away from the WOW Series and the Australian title. I don't even know.
Yep.
But it's just like I saw that, I'm like, really? I got to go for like Labor Day weekend's the Aussie title. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, that works, because I can, I can take it. I only have to take 1 day off.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm gonna go back I gotta go back on the Friday.
Why you say that, man? Like, I think we're making it.
Nothing against it.
I was gonna say Mildura's heaven.
What I gotta what I'm trying to do next year, probably gathered.
Yep.
I'm trying to I don't know if so. I reckon the WOW Series might even be my last race before I pull the pin on this season, just so I can work my ass off. It's 3 months.
To make a plan and a dream happen. No, man. I mean, look, it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to getting on the road with you. I'm looking forward to seeing your race and catching up with you.
I'm keen. I'm honestly, it's, because I've ran the sprint car, and Tyson would have experienced it as well at some point. He's ran a sprint car, hasn't he?
He's had a practice night.
Yeah. But as soon as you run, even if it's whatever, like I experienced it from my first night. But I hopped in the sprint car, I felt the power, and then it's just Chariots was another thing. Like it's just these little things that are, I don't know. It keeps it more interesting.
Yep.
Like, like a couple of people probably said, like I at the presentation, I'm like, I got 7th in the aggregate. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. We didn't do 30 plus nights.
I didn't even know that's how you got did it. Yeah.
I did 13 nights in my own car, plus 1 night in the Fitz car, as far as the Victorian schedule goes. And I'm like, I did 14 nights of racing, and I still finished top 10 in the Victorian points score out of like 80 cars or 70 cars or however many cars we've got registered in the state now.
That's a good healthy
I'm
score.
Oh, I know, but I'm like, it's still okay. I'm like, it's like, Kai won it obviously, like 2021. I'm like, but I'm not. I don't think I'm ever going to get back to that unless I do 35 nights, which it's just not. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
But it's just like little things like Chariots and the WoW series is just reignites that fire as far as running a wingless goes.
So one thing I sort of speak to people about is you got club championships, and you got series, okay. And club championships, I'm not taking anything away from club championships. We need club championships. Club racing is that's your grassroots. That's your blood of it, right?
And that's exactly what the like aggregate points is in like the wingless. Like it was cool to win for me because of the names that were on it.
Yep.
That's it.
But then once that happens, then you go chase your series.
Yeah.
And I think in all forms of motor racing, or when I say that, like I'm saying that loosely, but you'll have your championship and you have your guys who go race series. And I think we need both because it gets cars traveling. Like one thing I've enjoyed the last few years is when we have traveled in the state, just the welcome we've received from people has been outstanding, phenomenal. Met some awesome people on the road, to the point where I think we can travel to nearly not every track, but majority of the wingless tracks that we regularly go to, and not even think about having to pay for a night of accommodation, irrespective of us having a motorhome or the truck with the living quarters, because just you meet so many awesome people on the road, and that works really well. And I see with these series, especially like the WoW series, you've also got the one that Ray Eggins did up in Northern Rivers. So you obviously been from down south, you wouldn't be aware of it, but they're doing like this 50-lapper series.
No, I know. Yeah, I know about it. Yeah,
that thing looks absolutely amazing. Actually, it'd really be good to get you guys up for the Chile Nationals. I reckon you guys would love that one at Lismore. The track opens up and it's awesome racing. So we're going to try and sort of stick between the two, do a little bit of our club racing, but I think, as you said, you hit the nail on the head. You've got that aggregate championship. You put your name there. You've achieved that. You've got to go set your sights on other goals. Otherwise, before you know it, man, you're going to be like in your 30s. Not that there's anything wrong with being in your 30s. Wait till you hit 40, Jesus. But you'll be, 30, and you'll be thinking, shit, where are all these opportunities I could have had when I was a kid? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Like, and there's a couple of guys at work who are like, don't be around these old bastards or like they're just, they're miserable. You can tell. And I know.
Yep.
Like they're old cabinet makers, and they're just, they complain about every part of every aspect of their life.
Yep. It happens, man. I'm falling into that. I'm going down that road right now. It's not good.
Yeah, but still, you do stuff like this, and it's like you do stuff like this, and it's like these guys are just complaints, full complaints departments.
No.
But like it's just you just gotta jump at opportunities. Like I've ran the sprint car.
Yep.
I've done a bit in wingless. I'm still yet to win a title. That's even in go-karts too. I never won a national or state championship in go-karts. Many places, but never won. But it's just, I'm not getting any younger. I'm still at that age where
it's 22 people.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Jeez. I'm still at that age where I can keep.
It's good. It's good.
There's lots I can still do.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep getting bigger. So
let me ask you. This interview's gone for a while. Let me ask you a couple of questions before we end it. Right? Okay. So number one will be, what is your career highlight?
Running 5th at the All-Star Challenge in the 360 at Simpson.
Okay. How about we go wingless? What do we got for wingless?
All right.
That is still a good highlight. Yes.
To me, that was cool just because of who I was racing.
Oh, absolutely. That was a badass series too back in the day.
Yeah.
Like that was great.
Yeah. All right. Well, wingless highlight. Chariots.
Chariots.
That battle I had with Zach Grimshaw, Night for Chariots, was just
awesome.
Reignited. If I was starting to get bored, that reignited the fire like tenfold.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. What's your favorite track? I think I know the answer to this, but
Simpson.
Yeah, there we go. What I don't know if you do party like like the rest of us party after tracks. But what would you say is you got the track's got the best atmosphere after racing?
Not for the classic after party.
I was hoping you were going to go a wingless event there, but anyway, that's all right.
Look,
We'll let you slide.
Look,
You guys were kept on a very well behaved leash at Lismore there, so you weren't allowed to party with us because we would have been bad influence on you guys. But that's all right.
I got told, I wanted something from the draw. I wanted to get like Hungry Jacks or something on the way back to Evans Heads because that's where their Airbnb was.
Yeah.
And Ebony yelled at me and said, "Oh, you don't get in the fucking car. You're not getting fucking drive. We're not going to the drive-through." That was a big fast food fucking guy, and like it doesn't look it that way, but
no.
But yeah, it's just, I'm that kid who never grew out of that chicken nugget kid.
Dude, you're looking at him, but no problem. It catches up with you. Dude, I play ice hockey all the time, and I'm talking shit to someone. And I start talking about like KFC, like give me a zinger burger or something. Like I'm down with that. No, okay, that's good. That's good. All right, which one do you prefer, Hoosiers or American Races?
Oh. So
just make sure they're all going to be watching. No, they're not. They don't watch.
No, I don't really care either. It depends.
All right, do you have to have? What's your shocks? Are you a particular shock brand person, or you don't care?
No, I just run pros. I run the dirty old pros.
Pro man, wow. Okay, all right. Hey, one thing I do for everyone who comes on is give them an opportunity to thank the people to help them get down the highway. I want to do the same thing to you. I really appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me.
Floor's yours.
So my old man, obviously, and my mum, because I couldn't race without them. I wouldn't have gotten any of the opportunities I've gotten throughout the last 16 years without them, and opportunities I continue to get as well. My sister, her partner Cody, the Hobsons, Keatses. There's a long list of people. The Fitzpatricks, like sponsors like Victory Lane Rescue, Autobahn Warren, local print shop with Ebony, Temby haulage. Might be only one truck, but that's funded basically the whole of my racing career. There's number 4 composites like Mitchell Sires, like I mentioned him before. Like he's part of the reason I've had a lot of success in the last year or two, 3 years even. There's a lot of people. There's lots of people that make the wheels turn, make stuff happen. So.
No, that's good, and I'm glad that they do because it's good having you in the sport. You're definitely a good steering, someone to watch out for, and you always make the racing entertaining. So.
Okay, I try to.
No, you do, man, and thank you very much. And tell you, I think your dad's been a very big fan of the page, so I really appreciate his support.
I'll say, yeah, I know he likes stuff, and I
I
get on Facebook, but no, that's good.
No, he's good. He's good. So thanks for the support, Pete. Appreciate it. Thanks everyone for tuning in for this show. It's going to be a long one, but it's good. We got to learn who Christopher Temby was. So if you see him on the other track there, make sure you go up and hit him up for a sticker because he's meant to say yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a stack of them.
There you go.
Sprinkler on them and a wingless. So
perfect. Get double. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in for this episode. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Thanks.